Okay, and we're live with what is this? Episode 1. Do we want to take a guess? I'm gonna say 83.
It's 73.
Okay, that was actually pretty close for not knowing at all the number. I knew there was a 3 somewhere in there, but
Yep.
yeah. So, yeah, welcome back. Burning Barrel Podcast, episode 173. I'm Paul, and with me is Hank.
Hello.
Hi. Are you over
Hi.
your sickness yet?
I pretty much am. I still have some cough,
Yeah,
but other than that, I'm
it's not
feeling
as
good.
bad.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
2 days ago, I was feeling fine, but I was just had no energy.
Yeah,
Like I went out for like 10 minutes and came back and like I was exhausted.
yeah. Just from, like, walking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah,
Yeah, it was weird. But it was also one of those sicknesses where it was like,
Yeah.
it wasn't keeping me up. Like I had a sore throat and I was coughing, but I also just did nothing. So
like, you didn't even want to play video games or something? Were you dizzy?
I was a little dizzy. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I did. I had no desire to play any games. I probably would have with the fucking open world games I'd play, and I would have fallen asleep playing.
Oh, for sure, yeah. All those open world games, like, man, nothing else has been coming out for games. Okay, so last time we chatted was like Resident Evil 7 had come out. I was playing Fire Emblem Awakening, which I'm still picking at here and there, and we were actually playing the beta for Wildlands, and like For Honor had come out. Basically, that's around that time. So like late January, early February, around then. I guess late or early February, because I don't think in January the beta was happening for Ghost Recon. So since then, a whole shitload of stuff has come out, obviously. You have, I mean, they're all open world. I guess I hadn't talked about Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is cool. That's a cool game. That's a Metroidvania. But, like, besides Hollow Knight being a Metroidvania, we had, like, obviously Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out.
Yeah.
We had Horizon Zero Dawn, which came out like 2 days before it. We had Ghost
Like a
Recon
week.
Wildlands. What's that?
It came out. Horizon came out like a week before Zelda.
No,
Had
it
a
didn't.
little bit of time.
It came out Tuesday, and Zelda came out Friday.
Really? It was that?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I know. That's why I was just like, oh, Horizon Zero Dawn's gonna get overshadowed, but it kind of didn't. Like, people that played that game love that game and talk about it, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
No wonder I went to Best Buy that fucking midnight to get it.
Yeah, exactly. Wildlands came out. That is an open world thing, shooter thing. Mass Effect Andromeda has come out since we're recording this about 2 weeks or so after that has been a thing. And Nier Automata is out, and that is an open world thing. So, like, it's been nothing but open world shit, basically, since we last chatted. So, it's easy to lump them all in together in this giant, like, one... Let's talk about open world games and like what they do well and maybe what they don't.
Those are all good games, but
Yeah.
I'm so sick of open worlds. I'm just so sick of it.
Yeah, maybe we should start with Horizon, because
Horizon is my favorite of those games.
yeah, I think it's mine too, for sure.
Like I like the combat a lot. I like the story a lot.
Mhm.
It's the one that has the most like little, like it's just the visuals, like the variation and stuff from like going through the forest to like these like Matrix like dungeon things where they're just fucking wires everywhere. It's just a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure. It's a cool game, to be sure. I think what I like about it, especially because, like, we'll talk kind of in unison, but Zelda will get maybe a little bit of its own time. Compared to Zelda, because I kind of was playing them at the same time,
Mhm.
because of like, I mean, I've gone on rants about UPS and Amazon fucking up my Horizon Zero Dawn, or like we don't have to go back into
Yeah.
this. Um,
Yeah.
Playing them around the same time, Horizon Zero Dawn gives me kind of what I want and like more in video games, which is kind of a more directed experience and like a new story that I haven't seen before with a new characters and kind of a new world that I want to learn more about. Whereas Legend of Zelda is very much the opposite of that, and it is so not directed that you get the quest to defeat Ganon and save Hyrule as like your second quest in that
Yeah.
game. And then it's like, well, we don't know how you're going to do it, but I mean, you could look at these beasts over here and maybe like, I don't know, throw rocks around and see if you get Koroks or what. Like, we don't know. Go, hero. This is your world. We don't know how you're going to save it. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, which is
Yeah. Totally.
admirable in its own way for how big that game is. But again, Horizon Zero Dawn, I like the directed experience, and that is the best Mass Effect type game out this year, which we can explain a little bit more what I mean by that when we talk about Andromeda and how much of a letdown that is.
Oh
But
my god.
Horizon Zero Dawn really has that like Mass Effect. We're exploring a new area and talking to people and like kind of getting some lore and finding out like what's going on in this story. It has all that stuff that I like from the original Mass Effect. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't have the party stuff from Mass Effect.
No.
But it had the part where you like basically become a Spectre. I was like, oh wait, this is what we're doing. I'm basically becoming a Spectre right now.
No, for
That's
sure.
pretty cool.
Yeah. And then you have your giant mission and you're finding out what's going on by talking to different tribes, and
Like
it's weird.
It's just paced well in terms of like as the story starts progressing you through the early parts, like as you go from a kid to an adult, and like it's matching the way the character's life is progressing with like a bigger open world it's like opening out in front of them, and you get so that you as a player have more options of just stuff to do on the map. It's just mirroring that stuff well. Where like the first third of the map is like a whole separate thing, and then there's like that builds to like you leaving this area and going out to the wider world, which was like what you couldn't do if you hadn't become this like what I forget the term they give for you, the seeker. Yeah. When you become a seeker.
I'm getting it mixed up with Pathfinder in my mind because that also seems right, but that is a different game.
Andromeda.
Yes.
That's Andromeda.
That's the Andromeda virus sneaking its way into my mind.
It's the Andromeda version of the Shepherd, whatever.
Of Rider or whatever. But I definitely think Horizon Zero Dawn is the strongest, and that maybe didn't bode well for all of the ones coming out after it, because I felt like the bar was set in my mind. And like Breath of the Wild, like, oh man, Breath of the Wild is a very, very good game. I really, really like it. But as I had described earlier, it's kind of not the style I wanted. I wanted a more directed Zelda experience with like maybe a hit, like maybe they hide it that it's linear, but like it feels more open world. That's kind of what I wanted. I didn't literally want an open world for Zelda. So I had troubles with it. When I was doing the story stuff, I loved it. I loved every second of meeting the new people and like the new areas and doing the beasts and doing the like end stuff and finding the memories and getting those cutscenes. I loved all of that stuff so much. I kind of started to hate everything else, though. Like it just got to be too much.
For me, like even in the directed like 3D Zelda games, the parts it's the parts of where those games even feel like open worlds that drags them for me, kind of. Which is why what I really like is why I love Link Between Worlds, because of how focused everything on that game is, where everything on a screen is like all the information is right in front of you,
Yeah.
You're going directly through these puzzles like very quickly, but you're still like doing dungeons and directed stuff.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
if you can, there is like your own, and it just gives you the freedom to do some of that stuff in any order, but it's all still like funneling you quickly through material.
Yeah.
Whereas instead of like not having to dick around these big open spaces, you have to wrap your head around.
Right.
And that's just my preference of
Yeah.
style of game I like more.
Sure. And
Breath of the Wild just doesn't. It
Mhm.
just hasn't hooked me. Like it's very impressive, all the physics stuff, but I
Yeah.
don't feel compelled to go through. And then if I hit a part that's like, oh, I have to do things. I have to worry about money and stuff, and I don't have all these resources. Worrying about all this, my inventory. Do I have the rights? And then I don't want to play the game.
I feel very much like we're playing it on the wrong thing, though. Like, as I was thinking about it more and more, it makes like sense as to why playing it handheld mode on the Switch is like the best way, just like with the graphic fidelity of like not as much skipping, if any at all, or like any of that stuff is just better. That is a game you take on a road trip with you, and like when you're bored and you're just doing random shit in it. Like, I don't know, I was kind of just not loving the whole like I'm gonna play, like I was playing on my Wii U tablet while watching TV in the background, and I gotta be honest, a lot of times I was paying more attention to the TV than the game.
I mean, I only got as far as I did because I started playing only on the tablet. Like I put my tablet at my desk.
Yep.
Because if I was gonna go over to my TV, I was gonna like it just wasn't. Zelda wasn't gonna be the one I played at a certain point once I wrapped my head around it.
Sure. And that was kind of like the cool part for me, though, because the way it was going is that like the girlfriend would put something on that she wanted to watch, and I would lay out there on the couch, and then when a cool part happened, I'd be like, oh, check this out, and then I would show her, and we would like both enjoy those cool moments, and she didn't have to like see the tedious I'm running up a mountain for an hour part, right?
Yeah.
So like for her, she thinks that game's amazing because she doesn't see the tedium that I put into all those cool parts that happened.
Yeah, the big thing with Zelda where I was like, this isn't good, was the like cutscene you get with the Zora princess, the flashback.
Yeah.
It's like the voice acting was real bad in that. And I was like, man, this character seems so cool when it was just other people telling me about her.
Sure.
And then like I get this flashback with her and just like, now I don't like her anymore. That's a shame.
What do you feel about the voice acting for any of the other people you've met? I don't know where you are in the game.
So I've done this. I did all the Zora stuff, and I'm just up to the Goron stuff.
Okay. And
I haven't gotten any of the memories or anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like I haven't seen that much, honestly.
Right. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's fair enough because you kind of went like you saw way more of Horizon than I have. So we kind of just like each chose a different game to focus our attention into, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to see Zelda. I had to see more of it.
Yeah.
But
I think I think I have one tower to climb left. I don't know, like 4. or I have climbed them all already. I can't even remember. But I think I have one cauldron left because I know there's one other one.
Well, I mean, there's one extra tower that you have to climb in your mind to want to play that game again. So there's that existential tower that you personally have to get past. And then it's all easy from there.
Oh, no, I already climbed that one.
Okay. Did you fall off of it?
Yeah, it crashes and burns.
Right.
After you climb that one.
Right. Speaking of crashing and burning, Wildlands came out officially, and we were both, when we were talking about the alpha or beta rather that we were playing, we're like, nah, it's okay, but I don't think I'll get it. And then we both bought it, and it's pretty good. I played like way more of that game than I think it deserves. maybe, because I was starting to get a little tired by the end of it. I still want to finish it though. I finished a full wing and I'm almost done 2 full like wings out of the 4. So I've played a decent amount. I'm just trying to like stall for time while I bring up the time played, because it's kind of hidden in Uplay's thing. So solo time played, I have 20 hours, and co-op time played, I have 6 hours and 45 minutes. So I can extrapolate the data I see here and say the game to beat, like if you just wanted to do story stuff, would probably take you 30 to 40 hours, I would say.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad.
No.
That game...
It's totally okay. The game is totally okay, and it's a fun time with people, and it's a totally serviceable open world tactical action thing where every mission's basically the same.
Yeah, no, totally. It totally is. Every mission is the same.
Yeah.
There gets a point. It does the thing that I didn't like in... I think the first game that really struck this problem with me was... what the hell was it called? Force Unleashed? Star Wars one, where it does the thing that's annoying, that the cool thing you like about the game, or one of the cool things, they negate later to make it seem like it's more difficult than it actually is. So like, for example, in The Force Unleashed, you loved doing like the Force Lightning or something and like smoking dudes with that, or throwing them around like they're nothing. Then they would start introducing stormtroopers that had force shields or whatever, so like they could no longer be affected by anything but like melee attacks, so you could no longer do the thing you liked. So Wildlands does something similar, where there's a point where straight up dudes just have like helmets, so headshots usually take 2 bullets, and like some like bigger complexes have jammers, so you can't use drones. You have to use binoculars and like being super stealthy, and I think that's shitty. Like, the thing your game does well is the drone is dope. I put points into this fucking drone. You let me use my fucking drone. All right? Like, that's it. So, yeah. I hate when games do that, where you like a mechanic it has, and then to make it seem like it's a difficult part, they just take that away from you. It's fucking bullshit. I hate that. So, yeah. That game does it. Wildlands does it. Maybe not as egregiously as The Force Unleashed, because... fuck The Force Unleashed for doing that shit. But it's pretty bad still. But what do you think of it? I think I might have played more of it than you.
You totally did, because I've played like 8 hours. So.
Okay. So you're not completely burned out on that game yet, then?
No. I totally play that again. I just, wouldn't.
You just can't because of all the other stuff that came out.
Yeah, I'm just if I'm gonna play something by myself, I'm more inclined to play a different game. And even if I was gonna play a game with someone, I'd be more inclined to play something different than Wildlands.
Yeah,
at this point. But like I had fun with it. The story stuff is garbage, but it's all ignorable. But it's real badly written. I mean, the idea of the setting and the way it's structured is interesting in terms of like the giant cartel, and you're taking down his minions to get to him. But like the moment to moment writing is
the writing. Yeah, the thing is that I heard some people, specifically the Bombcast, I can't remember which one, talking about it, and it's not nearly as terrible and egregious as they make it sound. Like, they make it sound like it's disgusting and kind of deplorable, and like just it's lazy. It's not like
it feels like a little kid wrote it to me.
Kind of, yeah. It's like it's not well written, but it's harmless.
I don't know. There's a weird thing with Jeff in that game where he was like trashing on it, but he kept playing it and he beat it, and then he was like, "It's fine." Like he honestly softened on it after that. Like,
I didn't actually know he kept playing it and then like liked it enough to finish. That's, I mean, that's classic Jeff.
He wrote
right
a whole
there.
review.
Yeah. I don't
He
know.
gave it 3 stars. He's like, it's fun.
I think it probably, like, out of 5, we should clarify for
Yeah.
people that might
Yeah.
not know.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, 6 out of 10. Yeah, you know what? That's about right. Maybe a
Yeah.
7 on a good day with friends. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty decent when you're playing with friends. Like, I had a good time playing with you and Ben. That was great. It worked the way it was supposed to work. We didn't have any weird connection issues, really.
The best part was when we fucked up on a mission and there were way too many fucking police everywhere.
Oh, they were like ants.
I
Yeah,
love that.
I do have video of that, and I know you do too on your Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I video after you guys left of me trying it one more time, but then when I died, then it reset, and I was sad.
Yeah. Yeah, because it, like, when we left, it finally fixed itself and was like, okay, when he dies, like, we're good, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll work now. Yeah, that game is totally fine. The Unidad fucking, like, version, that game's version of the army or cops is fucking bullshit. Because in GTA, like, the wanted level stuff all still works the same, and it gets crazy intense when you have a high wanted level or whatever. The difference is in GTA, the cops don't outwardly seek you. Like, if they see you walking down the street doing nothing, they won't shoot you sometimes. So, like, kind of fuck the Unidad in that game. I really didn't like their addition of that faction. It gets a little bit better if you do certain security stuff, because then it's kind of like, well, they lost their, like, ties with the Santa Blanca cartel.
Gotcha.
So, like, they're not as likely to randomly shoot at you, but they will still randomly shoot at you because that game isn't smart enough to, like, be programmed to take that into account. So, yeah, I think that's a problem in that game, honestly. Like, it's not fun to be doing a stealth mission and then the cops or the army essentially sees you and starts shooting at you. That's fucking dumb. But whatever.
It's pretty bad.
That game's okay.
But also it's also really funny to me how if you just, like, that mission, if you really just said fuck it and went and ran and grabbed the truck, it was really easy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I did it first try. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Like, when I actually tried it or whatever, like, it's easier to do stealth in that game alone as well, because your AI companions are overpowered as fuck. Like,
that's also true, yeah.
They're really good, and then later on in the game, you get perks to just be like, oh, this perk just makes your guys better. So if you get into a firefight, they'll actually kill, like, a bunch of people. They'll probably do more than you do. Like, it's crazy
also,
how powerful they get.
I mean, sometimes they're good because they're cheating.
Totally.
Because you see them and they're, like, fucking up, but they're so effective because the game's just like, no, these things are just going to help you.
Yeah, until you're down, and then they're not around for some reason, and it takes them, like, an hour to get to you, to, like, get you back up.
That's true.
Yeah. It's weird. The way the AI for your buddies in that game works is super weird. But, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. This weird, like, mechanic where you mark people to, like, well, you guys, like, take these 3 or whatever, and I'll shoot this one. And then they, like, somehow get their target by, like, shooting through a building or something, because why not? It's the AI. We can do whatever.
Well, you don't even have to shoot, because you can trigger them to fire without shooting, too.
Sure, yeah. Usually
So
if you're,
you
like,
guys
wanting to do something, though, you have to, like, you have a dude you're going to shoot at the same time.
Yeah.
Generally.
I think you can just do that, because I know I think you can just, like, do that shit through the binoculars, too. Just, like, mark people and then
yes, you can
not actually fire.
Yep, you can do that for sure.
If you're too good to bloody your own hands,
right? That's kind of you're right. That leaves kind of a weird subtext where it's like you're no longer, like, actually doing anything wrong except for, like, leading these bloodthirsty, terrible fucking Black Ops members to, like, kill a bunch of random people in Bolivia. It's kind of weird. Like, yeah, kill him, bro. And Baby makes
don't
3.
kill civilians. And Baby makes 3.
Yep, exactly. That game's okay.
It's just totally fine.
You know what's not totally fine?
Seems like it sold pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, it sold fine. I mean, Tom Clancy games always do.
Like it's, yeah.
What's not fine is how disappointing Mass Effect Andromeda is.
It's kind of, it just seems unfinished. It really seems like they just were like, fuck it, put it out. It's fiscal.
Yep.
And the fiscal. Gotta get it out
and
there.
And it probably is.
Yeah.
You know what the funny thing is that a year and I think like 8 months ago, I went to BioWare and saw like an early build of it, and I can't say anything about it still because of an NDA. So I can't talk about an early build of that game because I guess like they're afraid I might say how bad it looked back then or something. But now I can just say how that finished product looks terrible.
It's real rough.
In fact, I'll say this, is that first product looked amazing because it was full of potential. And this is like, just, wow, what the fuck happened, dude? Like, what did you guys do?
I mean, what happened is like, this is a whole different studio.
No, for sure. But it's not an excuse, I don't think.
No.
So,
I mean, what bums me out is like, I really liked Inquisition.
Okay.
And it's just like, which is not that long ago compared to like the last Mass Effect, which was a long time ago. And like, it's just like, and what I had heard about Andromeda was that they were thinking about a lot of things about bringing Mass Effect in the way they were thinking about things with Inquisition.
Okay, sure.
Like the writing areas in Andromeda is so much worse.
Yep.
It's so much less polished. And
yep.
I mean, Inquisition has plenty of issues as an open world game, but it's like, it's at the level of you can overlook that stuff because you like the game or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas Andromeda is at like, how did you let this happen?
It's crazy.
The way enemies ragdoll is like my new one. I'm like, why is this how this works? Particularly because I play a Vanguard.
Oh,
where I like
so you're
to, like,
bashing into people.
Yeah, and they just like float away in weird ways and keep like moving in a buggy way, like every time. It just feels broken. Whereas that stuff felt really good in 3.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it felt good in 2 even. You know, that game that came out like 10 years ago. So, whatever.
But 3 was the one that was like comparable to this because it was like,
for sure.
Oh, I'm going to play this game not playing to cover because I can literally charge into things and recharge my shields instantly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm playing it the same way I played those games, Infiltrator.
Yeah.
So I don't have that experience. I do have a lot of hiding and like sneaking up behind them and flanking and shit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how
like
I
getting
play.
in their face. I see even more like combat glitches.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. I almost want to play a Vanguard now just to see those glitches. To be honest with you.
I mean, the way I was really feeling it was when I was doing multiplayer, and I was playing a Vanguard 2 there.
Right.
So you could test that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I heard people say that like you should play the multiplayer, like each class, so you know like which style you want to do in the single player before you like waste a bunch of resources because it takes a few to like respec. Or whatever, which makes sense to me, I guess. I kind of like how all that stuff works actually in the game. Like mechanically, I think a lot of the stuff they've added in Andromeda is really cool. I like being able to just kind of like have like a sentinel loadout, but I don't really want to cloak ever. So instead, I'm going to have like a flamethrower. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really
The
like
ability
that.
to get all the skills is really cool. I
Yeah,
like the jump and the boost. That stuff's fun.
sure.
It's like it's that they carried over the weird momentum swingy movement stuff,
Yeah,
which it was fine in like when Mass Effect was a corridor shooter, that it was like annoying but acceptable. But in a big open world you're exploring, that shit gets real fucking old.
totally.
Like
Yes.
I just want getting around to be so much smoother,
Yep.
and that's like a big thing in a world in a game where you're like just running around places. It's real frustrating.
And seeing the same fucking cutscene of going from planet to planet is terrible.
Oh, yeah, that's just like, who thought this was the part I really don't get is it zooms all the way into the planet like a weird side angle,
Yeah.
then zooms back out.
Yeah.
Why does it do that every time?
Why can't I skip any of it? Like,
Yeah, that's a real fucking good question.
yeah.
Because like fuck all of that.
Yeah. My immersion. Fuck you and your immersion. She's smiling. Oh, for by the way, just for like posterity's sake, I'm playing female default rider, the one that looks like a monster. Look her up. She's smiling all the goddamn time, and it's freaking me the fuck out. Anytime there's like not a scary, sorry, like a sad part happening, she has a slight little grin because they obviously didn't know how to like animate feelings in this engine. So like she always just has this slight grin, and it's terrifying. She's a monster.
I mean, male default rider is pretty fucking terrible too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm kind of surprised at how bad their default versions of those characters are. I've seen a lot of good custom created characters with that character creator, as kind of shit as it felt.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I'm kind of I'm pretty okay with my rider in terms of how she looks. But
I need to ask you a question because I don't know the answer to this. For making a customizable character, can you make a white person?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You can only get so. I mean, you can get to a certain level of light skin,
like a tan
default,
or something.
Like default rider's pretty white too.
This is what I'm getting at. Is
it just kind of looks kind of dark? Because your dad is black. Like you can be half.
I guess
light skin.
I don't like this precedent because, like, I'm a white dude. Like, I get it. I have representation in every other video game. Hashtag not your shield. Whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, just let me make a white female, man. Let me make Shepard. Let me make Femme Shep in this game. I don't want, like, I don't know. It just seems like a really weird, almost controversial thing to just like take white people out for the custom character creator. I mean, but whatever.
It's just their skin tones. Honestly, I think look weird. I think the one on the most white one is still pretty white.
Right. Well, but, maybe you're right. I don't know. I just like, let me make your character and your character creator better. Like, let me make default Sarah Ryder, but because I'm using the character creator, I won't make her eyes too big for her sockets, and I won't make her like lips too big for her tiny cheeks. Like, I will just not make her look like the like artist rendition that, like, you know, the people on Lawn Beach that like tell you sit down and then they do like a parody sketch of you, of your like facial features. That's what she looks like all the fucking time. She doesn't look like a real person. Yeah. I hate it. Like, I saw pictures of Male Rider. He doesn't look great, but he doesn't look like a goddamn monster either.
So there's another thing about the thing where like most of the color versions are dark skin for Rider.
Uh-huh.
Is that BioWare has always been really bad at lighting dark-skinned characters?
Yeah, they have. Yep.
Like, and that they didn't get that part better. Like, that part's still fucked. So it's like, you kind of don't. There's an extent to which you just don't want to be too dark because the game will you won't be able to see yourself because the fucking lighting engine doesn't know how to reflect off of dark skin.
That's so bad. That's fucking
It's
terrible,
fucking
man.
garbage.
That's yeah, jeez. That's silly. That's just silly.
Yeah.
Man, I don't get it. I don't understand how BioWare isn't more advanced with their graphics and character creation. See, this is a thing, is that their character creation is very good in this game if you like kind of know what to do with it. You can make like a monster as well. Like you can make a character that looks terrible in it as well. And their graphics are okay, I think, in this game. It's just that there's something that like didn't pass QA or something and they just released it anyways. There's something weird going on. And
I mean,
I don't know.
They just didn't get the time. Like, I'm sure everyone who worked on the game is aware of all the issues. They just didn't. They weren't given the time and money to fix those problems.
Yeah. I guess so. Like, I know a lot of people are saying that it's lazy design, and I don't necessarily think it's laziness. I think there were a lot of people working very hard around the clock. I just don't think maybe whoever they got, like, making this stuff was, like, well-versed in the engine or whatever, because it's a new engine for them. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And the thing is that even this all being the case, you are a giant company with, this is your biggest IP. Like, you were always set to fail, right? When you are making a Mass Effect game, you know when at BioWare that you are set to fail. You have to prove yourself because this is like the thing people remember you for. Sure, there's people that are like, well, I like Dragon Age and I like did they do SWTOR? I know KOTOR. They did KOTOR. They didn't do SWTOR, right? Or did they? Anyways, regardless.
Yes.
Like, there's fans of all of those. But Mass Effect is the fucking series. That's the fans that were with you for like thousands of hours with their shepherds and going through the stories and reading every little stupid codex you put in. Loved the story lore and like bought the books, all this shit. You have to prove you're still competent to them. And even if you can't meet their expectations with like this new story or the new characters or any of that stuff, there should be a quality to your game when you have like so much fucking money riding on this and like a bunch of people working around the clock. There's just no excuse for you to not meet the basic quality requirements of a AAA game. There's no fucking excuse for it. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm just pissed off because I'm one of those people that loves Mass Effect. I wanted so badly for this game to be amazing. And not only is it not amazing, it's like, I don't know.
It's barely good. It's like not really good.
It's not really good.
The problem is, like, my bigger problem is like, I really don't care about my squad.
Right.
The people who
the
I'm supposed to care
shitty,
about.
And I hate PB.
I don't care about them.
Like, PB is the only character I feel anything for, and it's hatred. I hate that character. She is annoying and just, like, the worst. There's a Krogan that I've talked to a few times. He's kind of dope, but, like...
Yeah, he's my favorite.
But, like,
he's
again...
just a Krogan.
That's
just
the thing.
A Krogan.
Is that there's no character to him, really. His character is, he is this race of warfaring people. Like, every time you talk to him, it's about how you're a pussy, he's a badass, he's gonna kick the shit out of stuff. Like, that is what every Krogan in that universe says. There's nothing inherently special about him, but he stands out. When there's nothing inherently special about a character that stands out, you have really bad character writing.
His other quality is that he's old.
You're right. The other quality is that he's old. There's that. You're right. My bad. Fuck PB. Like, holy fuck. It doesn't help I'm not a huge Asari fan to begin with, but Jesus. Yeah.
She's perky.
Oh, we should talk for a second about this EA Access thing. So EA Access is a program where you can pay every month for like a subscription fee to EA's Origin or whatever on PC. I don't know if it's on Xbox or whatnot. I don't deal with any of that shit. But you pay.
I think it was on Xbox. I think it's just on Xbox, not Sony.
Yeah, that makes sense. You pay like $5 a month, I think it is, and you get access to their quote-unquote vault, where they put games where they know they're not going to get like that many more sales from it, and if they do, whatever. But like you can basically download them, play them. It's like PlayStation Plus, but for EA specific games. And like you have a backlog of a bunch of stuff. It's kind of like a Netflix that way, that you can download the games and play. They also have this thing they do called trials, where you can download the game that's on trial or whatnot and play it for up to 10 hours, and then you'll be prompted to want to buy it or like uninstall it or whatever. This is a free thing for normal games that they choose, but there's like a premium edition of this trial thing, which is what this was under, what Andromeda was under. So I think it was for a week before, or was it the weekend before?
It was a week before.
Yeah, a week before the game came out. If you were part of EA Access, you had this like play it first trial access to it or whatnot, where you could play for up to 10 hours, but kind of not really.
The score was gated at a specific point. And
that specific point is like, you want to know what's going on. Like, I guess it's not really a spoiler. Like, a thing, you work towards a thing happening, that thing happens, and then as you're about to like enter the door to see what the thing you did is, like, that's where it cuts off. So you don't know. And it's super annoying how they do that. But it works, man. It's what got me to buy it.
I would say is the one smart thing about that demo.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many problems with that game that are so obvious up front. It was like baffling to me that they didn't like. If they were really like on their shit about being evil, they would have just polished up that part of the game super well. And gotten that part of the game really good, and then said fuck it to the rest. But nope, they didn't even have their shit together to do that.
Yeah, I've really tried to adopt this like theory in my head that Occam's razor, where like the simplest answer is usually the correct one, and you shouldn't like overthink stuff. I really believe this isn't like a weird conspiracy or SJW thing to make the female characters look ugly, or like you can't make white people because racism things and representation. I don't think any of this is the case. I think it's incompetence and people trying to get something out for money-making reasons.
Yes, and competence and greed.
And it backfired. It led to like a shitty product that was doomed to fail to begin with, because it isn't the thing people fell in love with. It's a new thing completely with that name on it. And I think they are... I don't know, actually, if they're feeling the ramifications from it, which is kind of what's distressing about all of this, because I think a lot of people still bought it. Like, a lot. And I think a lot of people, as they do, are making excuses for it and are thinking it's okay to, like, allow companies to release games that are kind of shitty quality, as long as they get it. And I don't think that's right at all. But
yeah, I don't have a good sense about if it's selling well or not.
I don't have any sense of it either. What I will say, though, is that they have released a message actually today on their Twitter, and I'll read it out for the podcast here, but you could also go to twitter.com/BioWare to see it. To our players, it's been a week since we officially launched Mass Effect Andromeda worldwide. We couldn't be more excited. Our fans are finally experiencing everything we worked hard to create. We've received quite a bit of feedback, some of it positive and some of it critical. That feedback is an important part of our ongoing support of the game, and we can't wait to share more of our immediate plans with you Tuesday, April 4th. In the meantime, keep your feedback coming. Our team is listening, working, blah, blah, blah. This is all PR shit. What is making me a little excited is if they have immediate plans April 4th do you think they can actually fix some of this like shitty problems? Like maybe
I mean, they can
release
fix
like
some of
an
the.
earlier build of the game, and
They can fix some of the bugs, but
yeah,
I mean, they can't fix the fact that the story sucks.
no,
Which
you're
is
totally right.
which is like my bigger problem. Like, it sucks that as a product, this thing's kind of shitty. But honestly, I could put up with some shittiness because I totally have in games if
Yeah.
the story were compelling.
I mean, fuck, I totally have in Mass Effect games.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some shit in
Like,
Mass Effect.
Fucking Mass Effect 1 is not a fucking good video game. But
Yeah.
I've fucking played through it.
Yep.
Um,
We didn't know better when that game came out, though, really.
I knew better when that game came out.
Like, it was bad, but it wasn't
I
as
also-
egregiously bad
I
as
also
it is
played
now.
it later.
Oh.
I also played it later. Like, 2
Okay.
was already out.
Oh, okay. That actually makes a difference to me. When you
Yeah.
you see that they can do better, that's when it's like, well, you fucked up. You fucked up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mass Effect. That's a thing. That's a disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna play through it because
I have to know.
Yeah.
What happens. But
I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the name of the book, but one of those Mass Effect books wasn't that great, and I read it, so this isn't any different, really. So there
I
you
find it so weird that this story is like, oh, you're the chosen one. You're the one your dad said got the thing, even though you probably didn't deserve it
Yeah.
because he just didn't want you to die.
That's like nepotism as like hell, dog.
Yep.
It's like, hey,
But you're like,
you want the best job in the universe? I'm your dad, so I can make it
Don't even-
happen.
they don't, and if they leaned into it more and like everyone fucking hated you because you were super qualified, it
Yeah.
would be so much better than like this weird milquetoast thing that they have going for instead. Or just like,
I mean, if they kind of did
guess you
anything,
shouldn't be it, but whatever.
if they kind of did anything to make people respond to you at all, it would be kind of nice. Other than, oh, hello, Pathfinder. Like,
I mean, that one woman was bitchy to you.
yeah, but she was just a bitch.
One.
She was bitchy to
Yes.
everyone else too.
Uh-huh.
So like
And then
that
she
was her,
tries to like
that was her
slime
character.
up to you after you set up the base
Yeah.
because she sucks.
Yeah.
And then you you meet the mayor of the town. It's fucking nothing, but it's fucking ugh.
Yeah. Anyways, Mass Effect Andromeda. I want to hear about Nier Automata because I still kind of don't know anything about this game, and like, yeah, I still have to play it at some point. I just haven't had time, man.
Yeah. It's fucking dope.
Yeah,
terms
that's
of,
what I
like,
heard.
like it opens with your like in like a like if you were playing like a space shooter where
Right.
you're like a unit and then like
A
like a
shmup,
bullet hell
right?
game. Yeah, and you're in like part of
Yeah.
a squad, and then as it's going, fucking every other ship you have is getting hit by this laser, and they all get destroyed like one by one until like it's just you. And it has like a weird like Star Foxy vibe to it in terms of like people are just calling out commands and you're going in, except like a little less cheesy. And then it's just like it keeps escalating in terms of like it'll change perspective, and then you jump out of your thing. It's got all this style and vigor pushing you forward through like its little opening section,
Yeah.
and it ends with you fighting a giant construction like oil rig thing with giant like saw hands. You like
Okay.
and it has platinum game at that point. It's platinum gameplay where you enter like witch time basically and swing at stuff.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's
So it's
anime
like-
as hell.
So it's like Bayonetta, but you also have like an option. So you have like a little dude floating behind you who shoots all the time, and it does like it'll like in the middle of battle it'll do bullet hell stuff where lots of like red globes will start coming at you, and you have to dodge them, and you can shoot them.
Yeah.
So it's got all that stuff is great, and then like a thing happens, and then
You're
go
in an
down
open world.
to Earth, and you're on an open world, and you have to
God
go to
damn
a
it.
base and get side quests and go kill robots to get parts, and they're wild boars. and moose.
When I heard you say it's open world, my heart broke. Like, if you could pause the tape of my life,
And
you could
it's
see
like,
the moment it happens.
and it's it's the shittiest open. It's like a PS2 open world. There's just fucking nothing to it. That's just
Yeah.
it's just there. Like it's luckily it's not that big,
In a way,
and it's
I
like
kind of like
just
it,
the
maybe.
it's just the thing between missions. Like once you get into a real story thing,
Hmm.
that became a little more directed when I did it. But it's like, and I kind of get it because every element of that game is like gamified. So I
Yeah.
get it in terms of like for immersion thing, because like even your like UI elements are like physical things you can buy in a store to replace.
Like augmentations, right? Because
Like
you're an
your
android or
XP,
something.
yeah. But
Yeah.
like your XP bar and your mini map are like physical things
That's
that
weird.
you've like
I
hooked
like
up.
it, but it's weird.
Yeah, so I get it in terms of like the design philosophy of like kind of wanting an open world in terms of like making stuff feel real, but it's also like that's just a dumb way to pad out space in between doing missions, and I wish it were just the streamlined focused mission stuff.
Yeah. The chip system, is that what it is? Wayward is saying
Yeah,
chip system is pretty neat, so.
yeah, that's how your like your augment stuff works, where you
Right. So you like buy a chip and then plug it in, and that's why you can
yeah,
now
and you have
see
like
a
a
health
you have a
bar.
certain amount of space for chips, so that's like your limiter on how you're customizing stuff.
Okay.
But also like
Okay.
your mini map is a tiny chip sitting in there.
That's kind of weird. I like it. I
Yeah.
like a bunch of the stuff you're saying. You know
So
what?
then,
I kind of like
but
the
then
idea that the open world isn't that big, though.
yes, the other problem though is you have to beat that game like multiple times.
I heard it's way faster every other time, though.
So it gets faster because I think you get stronger and you get ways to traverse much faster also.
Gotcha. Okay.
But playing through the game the second time is literally the same.
Oh, that's
Basically.
bad. That's
There's
actually
like
bad.
one difference, but it's almost exactly the same. It's not till the third time that it really changes up.
Yeah,
You're
that's
just playing
actually
it as a
bad.
different character.
Man.
So that's a thing.
Okay.
But it's dope, and the music is really fucking good.
Yeah, I've heard this.
It's all about like existential doubt. Like
Okay.
fearing
I can
of
do
nothing.
existential doubt. I mean, I do it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So I understand
So
it.
it's really appealing and all that stuff. I'm just so burned out that there are bores in it. It's just like fuck you. And I don't want to play this game like 4 times
Yeah.
to actually get to the end of the story.
Is the story engaging enough that like you would at some
It's
point
dope.
though?
I've already seen a bunch of really dope, weird, fucking crazy shit happen with the robots. Because
Okay.
a lot of the setting is humanity left Earth to live on the moon because robots took over.
Yeah.
But like you're androids that like work for the humans, so it's like all praise humanity, all glory to humans or something.
Okay.
And then you find these robots on Earth, but robots aren't supposed to really have personality. These robots down here, but these robots are they just like are saying things,
Yeah.
but they kind of are expressing humanity, and it gets real fucking creepy.
Oh, all right.
It gets good. It gets good. There's even the early stuff I've seen. There's good stuff there.
Man, I gotta crack it open.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the big area I went to was like desert themed. It was like riding through sand and stuff. And then I'm like walking around this big desert area, and then like suddenly all these robots start like washing over the wave, running at me, and they all like die in one hit. So that was fun.
That's pretty good. I like that. So are you gonna play? Okay, You have two games right now that are new in the zeitgeist. People are still talking about. Which one do you go back to between Andromeda and Automata? I really hate that those rhyme, basically.
I'm
Not including
near.
the multiplayer. We're not including Mass
Yeah,
Effect
yeah, yeah.
Andromeda multiplayer.
Then I'd say near
Near.
right now.
Okay. So that
I
story
want to
is
see more of
engaging
that.
enough then.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I've played way less of it already, and way more has happened. So
That's cool. I mean, Platinum kind of has
that's
a legacy of
yes,
like having shit going all the time. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so weird. It's just the open world thing. It's such a shit open world that
mm,
it's just like, why is this here, man? And I wouldn't care if I weren't so inundated in open worlds.
right.
And
Yeah,
it's
because like again to reiterate, like since we last talked, which was actually only a month ago. Like, let's be honest here, really.
yeah,
Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, Mass Effect Andromeda, and Nier Automata. Like, man, that's insane. That's
yeah,
an insane amount of giant open world
yeah.
games.
But because what I don't know if is gonna happen again that was the thing that really annoyed me in Nier
Uh,
was having to do a terrible bullshit side quest and then kind of spacing out and not finding the thing I needed immediately, even though it was marked on the map as supposed to be there, and it kind of wasn't. Like that was like I had to like wander around to try and get stuff to respawn to find like bullshit components for a fetch quest so I could just move on with my life.
yeah.
I was really annoyed that I was doing a fetch quest.
Is it a side mission then, if you have to do it? Because that seems to defeat the whole purpose of the word
Yeah, no,
side mission.
it's not. It's like introducing you to the side missions kind of
Oh,
as
I
part of
see.
the
I get you. Okay.
tutorial thing.
Right, right.
Because you get to the first camp and like none of the shops are open, will like sells to you unless you go get them this like little part they need or whatever.
Right. Okay. I mean, I'm in theory, it sounds like what that is like one of those four side mission tutorial things. So it's just like, now you can do these, and like you'll never have to again. So you're probably good. But
Yeah, like if I can
yeah,
play that game without having to do the side stuff, it'll be fun. But
right. Yeah, for sure. That's kind of been it for gaming. So there's some
yeah,
great stuff and some disappointing. I mean, there was one disappointing game, but it still hit me hard because of
yeah.
the game that was disappointing. So,
I played the oh dear alpha or beta. There's a beta now.
oh dear, is that like weird driving game? Is it?
Yeah, it's just a arcadey drifting thing.
Yeah,
It's super
and it's
short.
good.
Like I already did everything in it. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay,
It's pretty slight, but you're drifting and like there are lines of deer, and then you drift through them and they explode into blood. And it has really cool 2D like pixel like really cool pixel background art. But there
but
are
why
only
do you
a
want to
couple
kill the deer?
variations.
I don't understand.
If you're trying to get to grandma's house, and you're in a
Oh,
van that you're in a car that has like wood paneled sides, just classic. You hit a deer on the right, grandma's house.
okay, that's
Also,
weird.
you get a little fat speed boost when you hit a deer.
Okay, so there actually is a tangible benefit for hitting a deer.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Why would you get a
Also that's your
speed
score.
boost? Oh, okay. I get you.
There's like
'Cause-
one kind of deer that if you hit, you slowed it way down though.
okay, that makes sense. Like, I would have just figured that all deer would have slowed you down because they're not small creatures when you hit them. So,
They explode pretty good.
okay.
It's pretty gory. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Also, apparently that game was like was in like alpha in some form. on like PSP or something
Oh, weird.
at some point.
I've barely even
I-
heard about it, so that's weird that it's been around.
Yeah, I think it's only on GOG right now. Or Humble? Was it Humble? I think it's Humble.
Yeah,
right?
it's Humble. Yeah.
Humble.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wonder what they'll do with it because it's just still too slight for a.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Streets of Rogue. That's a new game. That's
yeah,
okay.
That thing looks cool.
Yeah. So what Streets of Rogue is if you think about like Binding of Isaac, where you go to different floors and then you like go to different rooms or whatnot, it's kind of like that, but not really at all. You kind of go to different floors for like a giant layout of like a city map, and it's kind of like an open world game where you have missions to do.
I'm dying.
Every time you go to a floor, you have missions, 2, 3 missions, whatever it is. And sometimes like you have the choice to find another mission on the floor from like a quest giver. And you just basically do them to unlock the elevator to the next level. And yeah, that's kind of it. What I think is cool about it is that it's mechanically pretty dense. Like every character plays differently enough that it feels like there's a reason to try all of them at least once and find the ones you really like. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, the vampire character, like, they all, for the most part, not all, I should say, there are some exceptions, they all, like, use weapons or whatnot, and, yeah, like, it's kind of basic that way. They can all punch or use a weapon or whatever to attack people, but a character like the vampire is not able to eat food, so to heal he has to sneak up behind people and drink their blood, which is like can be time consuming. If people see you, they'll like get alerted and like police will shoot at you because you're killing somebody essentially. There's a character called the Shapeshifter, which is a midget type character, like a mudman, that his whole gimmick is he doesn't have a body and he can't do anything except for jump into people's bodies and take them over. So that's like super weird way to play that game because
cool. I really like the gorilla.
The gorilla can't talk to people and smells bad, so he's never served in like shops. They kick him out right away. But like
that's so good.
He can just like punch people through walls, basically. Like he's super strong, obviously, because he's a gorilla.
Yeah, punching people through walls seems like a dumb thing.
Yeah, exactly. You have like your basic soldier character that starts off with a bunch of like guns and weaponry and nothing too special about that if you just want to play something basic. But like the doctor is a pacifist as his like trait, so he can't hold weapons or use them. So like he's one of the characters that is super annoying, but what he gets instead is he can sneak up behind people and like drug them with a needle to knock them out. So yeah.
I'm a pacifist. I don't like to fight people. I just like to sneak up behind them and drug them.
I just like to roofie them. You know. Nothing creepy. Yeah.
Like a good person.
And then like you can be different gang members. Like there's 2 different gangs in the game, and if you pick a gang member of one gang, the other gang will always be hostile towards you. Like it's very dense in how all these things work together to make like a different style of play every time you want to play. And it has multiplayer up to 4 people, which is awesome. Like, that's great, local and online. Me and Ben were playing it for a while and had no hiccups or problems with it. It was super easy to make a room and him to join, and all that stuff is great. Biggest problem with it is that it's early access right now, and it isn't complete. And it's they're adding more. There's not a whole lot there. Like, straight up. There's enough there that we played for 4 hours, and I felt really good about it. I don't know that I'll play more until there's more to add, they add.
Yeah, it just seems like seems like you guys had done everything by the time you were done.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cool game. I highly suggest people check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
It's cool. The reason I bring it up kind of is because looking at screenshots of it, it looks unremarkable. Like, it's definitely a game you have to play or see played to see why it's good, because it just looks like another, like, pixel, tiny build kind of, like, shit show game. Like, regardless of what you think of most tiny build games, like, it just looks like another one of those. But it's a little more special than that. So, yeah.
It's like the benefit of having, like, when you make your graphics and stuff that simple, easier to then build a bunch of weird systems and other stuff. Spend your time elsewhere. So it's cool they did that.
For sure. Also, there's a game called Frisky Business that came out that I was going to stream, and then because I was like, well, how bad could it be? Like, some visual novels are fine. There's just, like, some cleavage or whatever. I started up, and there's two, like, scantily clad women spooning, basically. I'm like, well, can't play that. Cannot stream that. So, the reason why it's called Frisky Business is because I can't remember. You play like a detective of a detective agency named Frisk or something like that. So there's the wordplay there. And I played a little bit of it, and I think I might like record myself playing it and then put it up on YouTube or something, since I can't stream it, because that game is stupid. Like, straight up, one of the first cases you get, you can turn down, and it ends chapter 1 immediately. And I was just like, that's awesome. That's awesome that this lady's asking for help, and I was a fucking dickhead to her, and I lost business. And then chapter 2 started. So, like, I skipped chapter 1 completely by just not accepting her problem, not thinking it's, like, important enough. And then, like, later on, she, like, called back or whatever and called me an asshole. And, like, it's great. I kind of want to see where it goes and, like, how far the writing takes into account what I want to do. So I might actually LP is what the kids say, maybe? No,
kids don't say that.
I'll just play. I'll probably just make it like one episode that's 4 hours long, or something.
Kids have long ago forsaken English, for sake of nonsense.
That's true. True.
Can't use English letters anymore.
But yeah, that's Frisky Business if you want a weird porn game or something.
Frisky Business.
Yeah. Like, I thought that was a dumb name until I realized the reason it's called that is because you run a business and your name is Frisk or something like this. Yeah. That's just like, that's hard. That's like one of those like 80s buddy cop things.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that does it for video games, which is good because movies came out.
Briefly?
Yeah,
I saw you streamed Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters.
Yeah, I did.
So I own that game on Vita, and I just wanted to hear.
Okay, I just wanted to talk to somebody about it. Okay,
I never played it. Cujo talked me into buying it one day.
That game is weird. So
yeah, that's what I remember. It was weird. I think I remember him saying about it was like that. Just there were options to pick things to say and talk to people, and it just like didn't quite make sense what actually happened.
No. So, a little background on what happened. This game is on PlayStation Now, and I decided, like, let's just start a PlayStation Now and a stream and see, like, what we're going to play or whatnot. And, Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters was one of those things, and that game tells you absolutely nothing about its mechanics for talking to people. Like, we parsed out that the first thing that comes up is your intention. So like there'll be like a heart and like a fist or like handshakes or like this sort of thing, right? Like, do you want this to be like a loving gesture or like a friendly gesture or like an angry one or something. That's what we kind of parse out as the first menu. And then the second menu is like, what part of the body or sense are you doing it with? So there'll be like a nose, a tongue, your hand, like this sort of thing. So I realized way too late that I was trying to lick affectionately every girl I talked to.
Yep, that sounds about right. That was why I bought that game.
So they don't like me, I don't think.
Weird.
Which is totally fair. Including the dude in the wheelchair that I lovingly refer to as Wheels now. That, like, I tried to lick him as well. So they shouldn't feel too special. I'm just trying to lick everybody out here.
Just gotta know how people taste, man.
I kind of want to keep playing that game, though. Because, so once all that weird stuff goes by, it turns into this like super basic like indie developer type like strategy game where it uses triangles and like little sound wave symbols to like represent you finding a ghost. It's so weird. It's kind of cool, actually.
That's what the Vita is for.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's the only reason I haven't gotten to is because I have so many like visual novel type things on my list of things like that to play.
Yeah.
That Fire Emblem takes all my time from.
The art style for it I find kind of weird. Like the backgrounds are basically pictures, and then the images of like the people is this weird like cross between, okay, first of all, they're kind of drawn like crappy standard anime, so like something you would find on DeviantArt, but then like redrawn by one of those people that like would draw something like, what if Kirby was realistic or something? So there's like realistic shitty anime art, and it's weird. It's so fucking weird. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe that game. But I kind of liked my time with it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it. I think I would like it much better in my hands on a Vita, though. But yeah, that's an interesting game. And if you have PlayStation Now, you can try that out for, well, not free, but if you have PlayStation Now, it will be free. So yeah. There you go. Now we should move on to movies, because that's where I think the meat is.
Sorry.
There's some good stuff in here. Tell me quickly about Lego Batman, because people are talking that shit up.
I mean, it's another Lego movie. It's very much in the vein of the Lego movie, and it's so as a Batman movie, it does a thing. There's a big thing that happens in it. It's a spoiler.
Okay.
That's fucking crazy for a Batman movie. But like, yeah, that makes sense. For
I'm guessing he
movie.
kills somebody.
No.
Okay. Well, then I don't know. So maybe we should keep it a spoiler.
You want me to spoil it?
No, like maybe we should keep it a secret then. Like if I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about it afterwards because I don't care. But
okay.
Yeah.
So that there's that thing, but then it's like it's a movie that's turning a character that was a good joke in the first movie, which was the Lego Batman character.
Yeah.
And then making a movie around him and then giving him an emotional arc. So the part that's like giving this joke character an emotional arc, I'm honestly not that into. Like, it makes him less funny because he becomes a better person. He becomes a character. It's like, and I liked him as a shitty, like, kind of one-note joke. Like, he was more interesting that way, honestly.
But like that movie would have been terrible if he was a one-note joke that whole time.
Like, probably, yeah.
A full movie with that?
Yeah, I don't know how you make the movie around that.
Exactly.
But this solution was like, yeah, that's whatever.
It's kind of half-assed in a weird way. Yeah. Okay.
And then it does stuff that's like, you can only tell that sort of stuff. You can only do that with Lego. So there's a tiny detail about it I really like, which is that whenever people are firing guns, you hear people making the pew pew noise.
That's pretty
pew,
good.
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, I like that.
It's really good.
That's really cute. Good. I like that. Speaking of firing guns, tell me about John Wick 2.
Yo, you like John Wick?
Yeah,
Yeah, John Wick 2 is good.
done.
It's more
All
John
right.
Wick.
Perfect. Like, is it super predictable? I hear there's
It's
escalation
not.
though.
Yeah. It's less surprising because you know how good John Wick is. So
Right.
like there's not going to be a point where you're like, "Oh shit, John Wick." You're like, "Yeah, he's John Wick. Of course he's going to fuck shit up."
Right.
It doesn't have the emotional hook of, them killing his dog. It doesn't happen
Right.
this time.
Okay.
They blow up his house. His dog is fine.
Well, it's hard to be emotional about a house, I guess.
There's
But like
There's more
that's
the Matrix
house.
in this John Wick than I would have expected.
That makes sense. I
Just
mean,
in terms
it
of
is Neo.
And Morpheus shows up.
Oh, weird. All right.
There's a part where Neo goes to see Morpheus.
Oh,
But
God.
also it's just he's a lot of the movie he's in New York City where it just feels like everyone is secretly an assassin who wants to kill him.
But that makes sense with the group he would roll with, like for sure.
Yeah.
So it works. I'm okay
Just
with
great
this.
because like he gets a hit put at him and just suddenly everyone is fucking assassin. It's great. It's a good time.
Good. I'm glad to hear
He doesn't really have an ending. It kind of baits for another John Wick. But at the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, I'll watch a John Wick 3. That was fun. He killed a dude with a pencil.
I'm excited to watch it the way I watched John Wick 1 in my own house comfortably.
And this one has the benefit of not, having a climax where he fights an old dude.
Yeah. I watched John Wick 1 recently, and it's just like, man, that fucking club scene should have been the last part.
Yeah. This one has a bunch of other assassins for him to fight. So
yeah, that's cool.
Better.
Good. Tell me about Get Out.
There's one other weird detail. This movie introduces like super thin Kevlar that stops bullets but doesn't stop any of the pain.
What's
so
the
he's
point
getting
of that?
He gets shot all the time, but then just like gets up and just like, ow. Like there's a scene where two characters, him and another assassin level character, dump their entire clips into each other, fall down, and then both get up and are basically fine, except that they were like, ugh. That's
kind of
weird.
dumb. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of times where John Wick's like running at someone and then like holding up the side of his jacket to block the bullets.
Oh God. That's amazing but dumb as hell. Jesus
and then
Christ.
There's also the thing that he does all the time in the movie is like he'll flip someone over while holding their gun hand and then like shoot with their gun to take their gun. Like there's a lot of good him just keeps taking other people's guns because he keeps running out of bullets.
It sounds like he played Breath of the Wild a few times.
Also, there's a real good part where he pins someone down with a shotgun, then has to reload it while pinning them, and then kills them. That's real good.
So it sounds like John Wick stuff.
It's a good movie, yeah.
All right, cool. Tell me about Get Out.
So my favorite thing about... So I really like Get Out.
Okay.
My favorite thing about it is that it's... So, like, the basic premise is, like, guess who's coming to dinner were a horror movie?
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about it is that it uses, like, all the stuff that's like, oh, these white people are just being racist, is sort of a mask for what's actually going on. Like, in every one of those interactions, there was something else going on that is not just that. And once you get that, once you find out what that is, like, oh, cool, this movie's kind of nuts. Like, cool.
Oh, man. This is the first time somebody has said something about this movie that actually makes me want to see it. Why has nobody just said that? That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like, you didn't even spoil anything.
Yeah. There's just more going on to it. Like, there's simple things like there's a part at the beginning of the movie where they hit a deer.
Okay.
And why that matters isn't even apparent when you first see that scene. Yeah, like once you learn some more stuff, like, oh, that's why that shit mattered.
So it's actually smartly written.
It's super smartly written. Like
Okay,
it's
that's good.
really clever. It's really well thought out. And it has it's like you can it just proves it's a thing I kind of always believe that like horror and good comedy kind of can come from the same place
Oh, they
in
totally come
terms
from
of
the same
like
place.
structured for a joke and like fucking Jordan Peele just proved like he understands that
Oh,
like
for sure.
he thought this horror movie out the way he thinks out a joke, and it's like it's perfect. It's like immaculately well written,
That's really cool. I'm glad.
and then it has some funny parts too. Like his the main character's friend who works at a TSA is like in a comedy over there,
wait.
and it's like his friend on the phone who is like, "Dude, you're in a horror movie. What are you doing?" Like the surrogate black dude in the audience yelling at the screen.
That's pretty good. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that that's actually like really good.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Cool. Okay. Let's talk about Kong Skull Island for a second because
Yeah.
I want to talk more about Logan because of like Nathan gave some opinions on that, so we can maybe dive a little deeper on that one.
Okay.
Because Nathan's opinion of Skull Island was it was fine. so like
Skull Island I actually really liked.
a lot of people have said this, yeah.
What I like about it is so it's garbage. Like I don't care about any of the characters in that movie
Sure.
at all, but it feels like a 90s blockbuster.
Okay.
It feels like they made a Kong movie by way of a movie adaptation of a Michael Crichton novel. Like it's just stupid in all those ways.
So in like
movies
good
based on
ways.
his books. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the action is like big and like immediate. Like there's not a lot of waiting around for stuff. Like it moves at a good pace. Samuel L. Jackson's character kind of is like the villain, is he's like this military dude who sees Kong as like a metaphor for Vietnam that he can't get over.
Okay.
But like his mistake is that Kong isn't a metaphor for Vietnam. He's just crazy.
Okay.
It's like that's like the movie's premise of his character. Kong is actually like a superhero who defends humans from these weird lizard monsters.
That
So there are
sounds
also
about right.
these weird lizard monsters that Kong fights and has to kill. And I like that Kong is like upright the whole movie. They didn't do the Peter Jackson thing and like really make him ape-like.
Yeah.
Because it allows Kong to like really use his size and like just fuck shit up. Like he feels really big.
Yeah. That's actually really cool sounding.
And it doesn't get into any of like it doesn't dive deep on the romance stuff between Kong and a lady. Like there's a photographer character who like they have like brief scenes, but it's so little that it feels like, oh god, they didn't do that shit again. I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson movie went way too far with that stuff. And it has a brisk pace. It's not that long compared to like the Peter Jackson one specifically. Like it was just a fun movie. It
Good.
only is on the island. It doesn't do the shit of like then having a whole nother movie. John C. Reilly's character is fucking crazy, and that was fun. There's like a weird graveyard, dead Kong skeletons. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
This Kong is the last of his kind.
I mean, all of this sounds good. I
yeah,
still don't think I would see it in a theater, though. Like, even though it's monsters and all that stuff. Like, I'll see it on my own time, I think.
That's totally fair.
Yeah. I mean, I thought so. So, yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. It's kind of garbage, but it's like, this is
But
the
a good
garbage I
garbage.
like.
Yeah, no. I mean, I love 90s like schlocky crap. So this
Yeah.
actually sounds more up my alley than I was thinking, because I kind of like that's like I like 90s schlocky crap better than I have like respect for King Kong. Like I don't find those films fun usually. So that's cool.
I
I'm
have
glad
a,
to hear.
I have a lot of respect for the original, and it's just, but a
Sure.
lot of it comes to like how weird a lot of it is.
Well, I mean, for
Like,
filmmaking and like the whole history and all, for
yeah,
sure. But I
like the
still don't
fact, but
watch
also
it.
there's also the thing of like when I did watch it, it's like this part where Kong is just like picking up people, putting them in his mouth, taking them out of his mouth, throwing
Right.
them on the ground, and then stepping on them. Like that
Right.
was his move. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
And
Okay.
you're like,
I get
watch it,
that.
and you're like, how many people died making this movie? Because
Not
like
enough.
the characters in that are like all about exploring these exotic locales and like doing this crazy shit are like the characters that are based on the actual producers of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Weird.
like that's what they were really like.
Yeah,
So
that's weird. Wow.
like
All
it's
right.
weird, like crossover between what's real and what's made up. It's interesting to that too. But yeah,
Fair enough. Okay. Let's talk Logan, because the last few movies here are all more like recent. And then,
okay.
yeah. Okay. So for people who maybe don't listen to like both podcasts or whatever, on the last Pixel Response podcast, I don't remember what it was, 140 something. Nathan talked about Logan, and he didn't like it very much because he hates kids. So, what is your opinion here?
I
Uh,
like um I like this kid because she stabs people.
right. This was his problem, is that scared him because he likes being an adult and doesn't like the idea of kids stabbing adults, I guess.
Kids stabbing adults is hilarious.
Okay. So you
Fuck
two
people.
are on completely different sides of this thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, you really like Logan then.
Like I go to a Wolverine movie, I want to see people being stabbed. That
Yeah.
one of the people doing the stabbing happens to be a little girl with Wolverine claws. I'm totally into. Also, X-23 is a character from the comics that I really like. So even though this is
Right.
a younger incarnation of her than has ever been in the comics, um, I already have affinity.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
like all that
Okay.
stuff. But like mostly what I liked about the movie was like, A, the violence is so much better than it is in most X-Men movies because they got the R rating.
Yeah.
So like when Wolverine is stabbing dudes, he's fucking stabbing them. Like he's like knocking a guy against the wall, putting his claws through the dude's head. Like
Yeah. No, I heard there's
that,
gnarly shit in it.
yeah, like that's so satisfying after seeing two Wolverine movies that weren't allowed to do that, that were clearly held back. The extent to which those movies aren't as good as they could be is mostly just the violence doesn't get to be any good.
Right.
But then like also just this is a good script, and like particularly for fucking Patrick Stewart's character, because Professor X has been like has been a terrible role honestly throughout the X-Men movies. That character's
I
bland
agree.
as shit.
I
And
agree.
in this
Which is
movie-
weird because he's dope, actually, like that character.
Yeah, but like in this movie he's crazy. He basically has like, so it allows Patrick Stewart to be Patrick Stewart and fucking act, and it's great.
Oh man, that
It's
sounds
like
good.
so refreshing because I fucking love Patrick Stewart when he gets to act, and he so rarely does his Professor X. So it's so refreshing.
I mean,
You
he's a
just get
good
him to be,
actor.
like just to be fucking crazy and pissed.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I know a lot of people say that they like this movie because they think it's a fitting send-off to Wolverine.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Like, is that
Yeah.
a fair statement? Okay.
No, totally.
Okay. What's your history
I,
with those movies? Like, how do you feel about X-Men Origins Wolverine and the Silver Samurai one or whatever? I can't remember the name of.
I mean, I like both of them.
Yeah,
Honestly,
me too.
I think they're okay. I think the Wolverine just has
Yeah.
a problem. Its final act basically sucks.
Yeah, I can
This,
agree to
the
that.
way they implement the Silver Samurai is just boring.
Yep. You're right.
And that movie was definitely felt like, oh, if they could have made this an R and really had like ninjas really like this horde of do the ninja scene right of like hordes of ninjas stabbing Wolverine in the back and him like murdering all of them. That would have
Yeah.
been way better than what they could do in that movie.
That would have been cool,
Wolverine
actually.
Wolverine Origins is like a whole different beast where it's just so stupid. I have to
Yeah.
love it. Like,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
I honestly, it's like I just want a movie where Wolverine just goes through like the Forrest Gump, but just explosions happen
Forrest
everywhere.
Gump. Yeah.
But explosion, like Wolverine's just traveling throughout history, and then he leaves this period of time, and it explodes.
Yeah.
Like that's like the beginning of that movie, and I love it. And their version of Deadpool was stupid, but it was big and stupid. Like they fucking
Yeah.
went for it. The way like my big problem with like it was different. I've never seen two people fighting a laser spewing super thing on the top of a cooling tower. Like that's not in a lot of other movies. Like my big problem with a lot of superhero blockbuster stuff is they feel the same. It was at
Sure.
least different.
I would argue that they could have done better, but you're right.
They could have done
They did
better,
different.
but it was different. It was dumb.
If you
I
can't
had
do better,
fun.
do different. Is that what you're
Yeah.
getting at?
If you can't do better, do different and do big and dumb, and I'll just let me have
Like
fun.
commit to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
commit. Like a lot of times,
Fair.
the other problem is like they do something and then they don't commit to it fully enough. Even if it's stupid, like at least go for it.
Yeah.
Don't just have it there as a stupid thing that then you don't follow up on. It's just annoying.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I still really fucking hate that version of Deadpool, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's a shitty version. It's stupid. Why would you take Deadpool and take away his mouth?
Like, why wouldn't they just name him anything else? Like, just
Yeah,
make
like
it for that
Mimic.
movie.
Which is
Sure.
much closer to what like a character like that would be.
Sure.
A character whose powers are all based on the original X-Men's powers. Bam. That's the
Yeah.
character you wanted to use. What? Let me see you make a Deadpool. I don't understand.
Ridiculous.
Whatever. We got a good Deadpool movie. Fine.
Yeah. Sure. And like the
But,
video
like,
game
I don't
based on that movie is great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that, I guess. Okay,
And
so
I never got the hate about that movie in general. Though.
I mean, people
got-
just like to be up their own ass and think they're like good critics because they hate everything. That isn't like.
I mean, I hated
Mhm.
the X-Men: The Last Stand. I hated that movie.
right,
Wolverine
but
Origins was
a
fucking
lot of
whatever.
people said that one was bad. So
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I don't know. Logan sounds good. I look forward to eventually seeing it on my own terms as I do, and it's gonna
Its
be
final
really.
note, it's so on the nose. It makes me a little mad. Like it's
Really?
the very last thing it does. Yeah, it's like one thing. I'm like, yeah, but come, ah. But I mean, before that, there was like a scene of kids all using their powers to brutally murder a dude. So, I'm
Which is
cool with
exactly
that.
what Nathan didn't want. So, okay.
It's like the movie last year. It's that terrible movie Maximum Ride. One of my favorite parts in it was the part where it was heavily implied one kid had stabbed another kid in the eye off screen. I was so thrilled. But now
Oh, man.
here's a movie where I get to see a child stab lots and lots of adults. Great.
Okay. All right. That's a little
She gets into
creepy.
it.
That's
It's
a
just
little
funny
creepy.
to me. It's just
Okay.
funny to me.
Fair
I
enough.
like movie violence, man. It's not real violence. It's movie violence. It's a different
right.
thing.
You're right. It actually is. As somebody who has seen real violence and
Yeah.
is terrified, actually, of that shit.
Real violence is horrible.
Real violence is like I'm not talking about fights either. I've been in fights. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like bad violence.
Yeah.
It's
No,
gross.
that's no good.
No. It's
Movie
the
violence,
worst.
though.
Movie violence is fine because it's not real.
Yeah.
Like at all. It's so not real. Okay. Tell me about the Belko experiment because I lied and didn't look this up. I don't know what this is at all. And you seem super stoked.
So it's written by James Gunn.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
His background's in trauma.
Yeah, I mean,
but like this is like because he's a dude who wrote and directed such a big movie like Guardians of the Galaxy. This is like he gets to write and get this movie made, and with a really good cast and in way more theaters than it would be in otherwise.
He's a very hit or miss person for me, so this is scaring me a little.
So the premise of this movie is in a office building in Colombia. All of the 80 Americans who work there are locked inside with all the doors and windows shuttered and told to start murdering each other.
So it's Battle Royale for businessmen?
Yep.
Weird.
In an office building.
Okay. Interesting.
It's really good. It's a really good one of those movies. The actors are all really good, and it does a really good job of just like disposing of characters because like just keep you on your toes. And
Man,
you know, it's got really good violence.
I had no idea what this was. This sounds dope.
It's like, fucking dope.
I had no idea that they made another Battle Royale type movie.
Yeah, I only found out about it a couple days ago. I was like, fuck, I need to see that. God damn. Seems great.
That's awesome.
And it is. It's really good.
I'm looking it up right now.
So when they don't... So part of the, like, living in Colombia, they've all had tracking chips implanted in them.
Okay.
But it turns out all those tracking chips contained explosives. So if if they don't start murdering people, then random people's heads start exploding.
Great. All right.
So it's like, it's two people have to die or something bad will happen.
Right.
And then like one person ends up, I think, dying accidentally. But then,
they have to choose who's next sort of thing. Like,
so then the way they show, they just like explode like 4 people's heads or something. I forget the number. They're just start exploding and people freak the fuck out. Right. Sure. So people think gunshots are going off at first, but then there's like a scene where like someone goes in and looks at this fucking blown out skull, starts poking around. And is like, I think that came from inside. This doesn't look like a gunshot wound. Like this is a gory movie too.
Cool.
And then they get told 30 people have to die or killing 60 people.
Okay. So
that puts some pressure on fools.
Yeah, so does it do that like weird like social experiment tension thing where like everybody's trying to figure out like the best way to like who should we sacrifice basically, and then like character development happens and blah blah blah, or is it just kind of like murder? Like, is there actual writing in this, or is it just like blood and gore?
There's like there's writing. There's people who want to talk about it at least.
Right.
For figuring out, and then there's the people that don't, and then the people that wanted to talk about it kind of take over and then start choosing, performing the social engineering,
right,
and then are like trying to get the numbers right. It's like, damn it, there aren't enough old people.
Right. Okay. That's cool. I'm glad that there's like actually exploring that sort of thing. That's what makes that stuff inherently interesting to me, not just like, well, everybody's a killer now and like they're all just fighting each other, because that's kind of what video games are for. Like, I kind of want to see the character development.
Yeah, no, there's good character stuff here, and the cast of actors are really good and do a really good job.
Cool. I'm glad to hear it. Actually,
it's like higher quality acting than you would get in a exploitation type movie like this usually.
Cool. So I just looked this up.
Really good time.
Besides James Gunn, the guy who directed this is a guy named Greg McLean, who has a few of these like shitty horror movie type things attached to him, so that kind of makes me excited about some stuff. Yeah. Like Wolf Creek was his. Yeah. I guess I didn't even know there was a Wolf Creek 2, but he did that as well. So that's cool. I'm glad to hear it, actually. Like, you actually got me interested in this. I had no idea what this was.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons I want to talk about it because I think it's a movie I really like.
Yeah, no, this definitely sounds up my... Like, out of all of these that we talked about and going to talk about, this actually sounds like the one for me right now.
Yeah.
Besides, like... Okay, so I grew up a Power Rangers fan. That movie came out. You went to go see it. I need to know, first and foremost, before we talk about it, is it worth going to? Can I skip it?
I think you can skip because I really hate once it gets to the action, that's like my least favorite part.
I've heard that from a few people that like aren't even in our little like community or part or like group or whatever. Like outsiders say that. So it must be really bad.
It just has like no character to it. It's like it's all slow-mo CG.
Slow-mo? What?
Yeah, there's a lot of slow-mo.
Is that because they like hired actors and not martial artists or something?
No. I mean, it's all computer generated anyway. It's they're like in their armor.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, and like for me, like the biggest thing about like why this movie sucks is like it just kind of there is like the way it introduces the Zords.
Okay.
It's just like Alpha 5's like, hey, come over here. Hey, here are the Zords sitting in this cave. Here they are.
Oh, they're just sitting in a cave? Oh.
And they're like kind of alive, just sitting there.
Yo, you know
There's
what was
no
dope?
epic intro. Oh, it's so frustrating. They're just fucking sitting there. I'm so mad.
You know what was great about the fucking show was when they were calling in their Zords, and you would see the shitty fucking saber-toothed tiger running across the land really fast to catch up with the T-Rex and the woolly mammoth, and they all just formed together. Like, that was so fucking cool. Every time.
It was so good.
Every time it was cool. And they introduced them by
an amazing toy commercial.
They introduced them by like they're just sitting in a cave. Go ahead and take them, like a car, basically. Like,
yeah, one of them really just they're not supposed to ride them because they won't be ready till they've been able to morph. But then one of them like drives it out like it's his first time driving and makes a mess, and he goes, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that."
This sounds like it doesn't understand what I personally liked about Power Rangers.
It completely does not hit the appeal of Power Rangers. If what you were looking for was liking Power Rangers, it's not. This doesn't hit any of the points of appeal of the series.
What about for a new generation? Like, say I have a kid, he's like, I don't know, 8 years old or something.
For a new generation, this is like a new version of the Breakfast Club for them.
That's more interesting to me, actually.
To have action at the end that sucks.
So how is that stuff? Because I like the Breakfast Club a lot.
That stuff's okay. Like, I was almost kind of into this movie, except the action fucking sucked. So I was like, yeah, fuck this movie. Like, I don't care anymore. Because even though that character stuff's okay, it's not great, and it doesn't matter at all by the time you get to the end.
Right.
Because at the end, it's just a big action scene.
Okay. Well.
Like, I don't know, there's a character who's autistic. So, like, he's kind of annoying. Because he does autistic things. It's like it's like a pretty accurate representation of what someone like that is like. And it's it's well done for a movie, but it also makes him kind of an annoying character. Honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, what it is.
The fan base for Power Rangers needs representation. So
yeah, a lot of what the movie's doing is in terms of representation stuff,
right? Which is what just that show did, and cartoons and everything in the 90s did. So that's at least keeping in tradition's sake, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's like honestly, it's fine. Like that stuff's okay. They're kind of all so they're all in this like they're all fuck ups and they meet in a tension, basically. They're all outcast type characters instead of, just really good at martial arts. Like they were the super bland kids who were really good at martial arts, which is what they were in the original Power Rangers. But
Yeah.
so like I get the change, but it's the action sucked. I can't get over that. How
Yeah,
bad
that's
it
really
was.
shitty. That sucks.
And like they're first in the Zords, they're like running next to each other. Like the theme starts playing, but it doesn't feel good at all. And it's like they're not playing it as loud as they like. It feels like they're embarrassed about it, and it goes away very briefly, so they can replace it with the song they really want to play, "Power." That's what they really got to have for the action scene.
Okay. Well,
It was weird because that song doesn't feel appropriate except for the word "power."
yeah.
It's not really about one man having all that power. Except
No.
there is a thing in the movie where Zordon initially just wants the Rangers to morph so he can resurrect himself and just take care of Rita himself and fuck them. But it's also a thing.
That's
so
an
it's
interesting
doing-
subplot thing,
It's
though.
an interesting idea, and like if the movie had gone anywhere with it, but it's like
Right.
it sets up little darker ideas just to then fall back on the same old platitudes and like standard superhero type stuff.
Right. I need to
And
know.
it takes
Mhm.
yeah, it's just a kind of lame origin movie. It takes a little too long, and then the action sucks.
I need to know if they're named like Jason, Billy, Zach, Trini, and Kimberly.
They are.
Dope. Okay, I'm okay with this. How is Elizabeth Banks as Rita?
Fucking weird.
Okay, is that because
She's okay.
this version of Rita is weird, or because
This
her
version of
acting
Rita
is weird?
is fucking weird.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair.
The climactic plot revolves around Rita walking to a Krispy Kreme.
I mean, we used to have Krispy Kreme up here, but Tim Hortons took all their business. They died. They left. So they were okay. They're an okay donut place, I guess. Maybe too sugary for my tastes.
Weird piece of product placement.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah.
And even if they had leaned into that more, it also could have been really good. But they don't. They only kind of lean into it more.
And that's
And that,
really
like-
where the problem is. Yeah.
It's like they're like dumb things the movie does, but it doesn't do enough with them. And then like it doesn't hit any of the things I actually want from a Power Rangers movie either. It just does some of the character stuff okay. Like it's an okay weird Breakfast Club thing.
Yeah. If you were 20 years younger, what would your opinion of this be?
It was
Because I
boring,
feel
the
like
action was bad.
I feel like Power Rangers were always kind of meant for kids, and like you can,
Yeah.
as an adult, like recognize like the fun stuff that they do. But
Yeah. Totally. But like for me it was like the martial arts and the action stuff, and the way it was shot was very
boring.
the way that stuff was like kinetic, and like everything is over dramatic but also fast. It's I feel like it taps into stuff that works about comic books in terms of, but like how you could put it on TV in terms of like it's all iconic. It's you remember it as a shape, even though it's very quick. Whereas this has none of that appeal. It's all like slow and it feels like molasses. There's nothing like iconic about the action and the way stuff looks here.
Right.
So it doesn't have any of that like kid appeal. It doesn't feel like a really pump up toy commercial. It doesn't like this is targeting slightly older.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's still stupid. It's like it's not actually smart enough where that works either, I don't think. I think Power Rangers worked really well because it's like for babies, and it appeals to
Right. Yeah.
like the most basic elements of being a kid.
No,
Like,
totally.
yeah, fucking dinosaurs and fucking punching people and doing flips and explosions.
Totally. Yeah. Sparks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a sword and a flute? I guess
Flutes.
it's not 100% kid friendly, but
Weird Mecha Godzilla.
you're right. I mean, that part was dope, but a flute? Really? All right. Sure. Yeah, okay.
But like that little tune was iconic.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it just fucking everything about like it just worms its way into your brain.
You're right. And it sold toys amazingly. Holy shit, did it sell toys amazingly.
Those toys, and because the fucking robots looked like the toys.
Yeah, they
were
did.
The same.
And the toys all put them together and make the Megazord, and you could buy the sword gun
you could
thing.
Make the weird fortress form.
Yep.
It all worked the same. Fucking genius. The dumbest thing is when like the toys don't look or work the way they do in the show.
Yeah. Yo, you want to see something fucked? Have you seen pictures of the new Beauty and the Beast Belle? With
yes.
Oh my god, they got that printing bad. Holy shit. I've seen that toy in the wild since seeing that picture. And like the actual things I saw on my shelf at the store here were like fine. They looked okay. But like you could tell that there was a production failure for like a bunch of those. And holy shit, is it bad? Holy shit, is it bad? Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up in some format because that doesn't usually come up easily in conversation, but I love it. Everybody should check that picture out of the new Belle as portrayed by Emma Watson, the like misprint version of her toy. Holy shit, is it fucked up?
Only imagine how bad Emma Watson felt.
Oh,
having
fuck.
a toy like that out there of her likeness. Ugh.
Is that more horrifying than Female Rider? I'll have to think a few days over that one. They both have their follies. For instance, the toy doesn't make animation. Like, it doesn't like make smiles or faces at you.
It's true. There's less being asked of the toy. Though.
Exactly.
It just has to be there, and it already fucked that up.
Yep.
But yeah, also this is a Power Rangers movie where, we can't morph, so let's just go to the dock and kill Rita.
Do they kill Rita?
Well, that's what they say they're gonna. They can't do it. They fuck up.
Of course they can't. Yeah,
but that's their intention. Like, yeah, we're gonna go kill Rita.
Is she human in this?
No.
Or okay, so she's still like a weird like magical like witch moon person.
They make it
thing?
like she was the Green Ranger of Zordon's team. Zordon was the Red Ranger. That's
I mean,
the story
that makes sense for like how that story kind of goes. That's kind of a neat like little twist, actually. I like that.
Yeah, if you can't do because you can't do the Green Ranger saga in a movie,
right?
It's not gonna work. So like, I honestly think that was a clever way to nod to that stuff.
For sure. That's cool. I actually like that a lot.
And then Goldar is her magical monster she summons that is actually made.
Okay.
Go literal with that one.
Great. All right. Sure. What? I mean, I don't care about that. Really. I know people do. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Zordon is Bryan Cranston. He's kind of a jerk. This is another movie where Bryan Cranston dies at the beginning, but he's still in the movie because he's a Zordon.
Right. Yeah,
he just gets stuck behind a wall.
Just gets stuck behind a wall. So he's not like a floating head, right? He's kind of like this weird.
He's a
like,
giant face on a wall.
Staticky face. Yeah. Neat. Okay. It sounds like it's okay, but
it's totally mediocre.
Yeah, that's not enough to make me pay. If I'm gonna go see a movie, it sounds bad to say I have to take my girlfriend because I want to watch it with somebody else, but like
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is I'm spending like $35 to $40 every single time I go see a movie.
Yeah.
So I have to be a little pickier than it's
No.
mediocre.
If the action had been good, it would be good. But
Right.
they fucked it up and it sucks. So it's just mediocre.
Okay. Speaking of action, I need to know Ghost in the Shell. You saw it. Like, this is not even out yet, right? Technically?
Technically, it comes out tomorrow. Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was totally good. Like it's not amazing, but it's for what Hollywood is gonna do to make that story. It looks like Ghost in the Shell. It like the visuals are all there. The action's fine here. Like it works. It all works. It's still
Right.
like this is like level. I mean, honestly, the story is like Cyberpunk. I kind of want more out of a Cyberpunk story in 2017 than I'm gonna get from this.
Right.
But like it's an adaptation of Ghost of the Shell. I know what I was expecting. For what I was expecting, what I was hoping for, it kind of pretty much met my expectations of like what Hollywood would do with that movie. It goes all the way of like exploring Major's backstory. Like she gets all the answers to her past by the end of this movie, which is weird.
So they made it a
But
really like self-contained thing.
yeah,
Then.
I mean but it also felt like what it kind of felt like if this had been a pilot for a TV show starring all these actors as the characters in like a live action version of Standalone Complex, I would have been down for that. Like
Right.
I would kind of like I liked it enough that I would like to see more, but it's just, this is the one story for this movie. Like it's totally okay,
Okay.
but it's also not like amazing.
Yeah,
It's not
what's
like
your history with Ghost in the Shell?
Ghost in the Shell is just never something that I've really felt strongly about. It's like it's
Okay.
good. Ghost in the
Okay.
Shell is good.
So like you were never going to be the rabid fan where like they fucked this up, or they got this
No,
right.
I'm just not that
Okay.
dude. Property for me.
Right.
Ghost in the Shell's like it's good. I like Standalone Complex. That's a solid TV show.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't
How
have strong feelings.
how do you feel about Scarlett Johansson taking an Asian job away?
I like that they made it a point to say the character is still Asian. It's just they
Oh,
put her in a
really?
robot body, so they made it look like Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But like, yo, in the fucking like cartoon, she's like white. Like straight up. Like I know Asian names, blah blah blah, origins. I don't care about any of that. That character is drawn white. So, it's
It's like basically what they did here.
right. Okay.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is like built to play this kind of role. That's like as an actress, this is the kind of role she
Like she's been Black Widow
charac-
for like 100 years, so
like
I'm sure
characters
this is
that
fine.
are like dealing with only being semi-human.
Right. Yeah, you're kind of right.
Like that's what she gravitates to. She's good at it. It makes sense to me that the Hollywood version of this movie would star her. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
She's a compelling screen presence.
And she's okay in this?
Yeah, she's good. She gets to
Good.
do stuff. Like my biggest problem with movies with her is when she doesn't get to do stuff.
Yeah.
She gets to do stuff. So
Good. Okay, cool.
thumbs up. My one problem is sometimes the movie's a little too gray and dark. Like they're during the climax, it's a little too gray and dark for my taste, but that's a nitpick, honestly.
Yeah. For sure.
It's it's what I would expect from the Hollywood version of Ghost in the Shell. Like it does Hollywood things to the property, but of course it does. It's a Hollywood movie. That's how you get a Hollywood budget. That's how stuff works. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like I get that if someone who's like more rabid about the material would have nitpicks and stuff, but that's not me. I just think this stuff is pretty okay and cool, and that this was that. So
Cool.
This
Like,
this had a good pace to it, which I don't think the original movie does.
no, you're probably right about that. So, is this like, is there anything in this that you would call like a spectacle enough to like be like, you should probably watch this in a theater? Or is this another okay one that like, well, I'll just watch it on Netflix or something at some point?
Yeah, I'd probably just watch it on Netflix at some point.
Yeah. Or like
Like, it's
illegally
not-
download it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah, like there was nothing. Yeah, it's Cyberpunk. It's cool.
Mhm.
There's visual flash to it, but there was nothing in it that made me go, "Holy shit, fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
it's also just not that kind of story.
Okay. Well, like,
It's very
Mhm.
like it's pretty fucking for a blockbuster. It's like pretty cerebral. Like it's like a toning down the cerebrality of that story and cyberpunk stuff, but for a Bollywood blockbuster, it's super cerebral.
Okay.
Just
That's
in terms
actually kind of
being
good to
cyberpunk.
hear because I was wondering if it would just be stupid. Because, like, those trailers
Yeah, no.
don't show that there's any thought behind a lot of this shit, maybe. So, that's cool. I wasn't expecting you to say that, to be completely honest with you. So,
And I think fucking like her team, Section 9, those dudes look like those dudes. Like they pretty much. I like how they nailed those characters.
yeah.
How that all works. Like I think they did a better job with nailing the visual stuff of this movie more than material like this usually gets nailed with Hollywood. It certainly looks more like Ghost in the Shell than Power Rangers.
Right. Well, that's good. Like, and like they had more to work with Power Rangers in that regard. Like, there's an iconic look you can just replicate. So that's cool. That's actually really good to hear because I think this movie's still gonna get a lot of hate, like a lot of it,
Oh, I'm sure.
because it already, has.
It's coming up against Big Baby or Boss Baby, so it's clearly doomed to fail because everyone's got to see the talking.
What the hell are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
There's this animated movie where Alec Baldwin plays a baby who acts like a businessman. It's coming out this weekend and is projected to do better business.
Oh God. Oh God. Why would people watch that?
I
All
don't.
right.
And fucking Jester was talking about how he wanted to see.
Jester, if you're listening to this, you have to message me and tell me why. What is compelling about this? This sounds
His explanation
terrible.
was his girlfriend likes animation stuff, but
Okay.
still, like that's Disney and Pixar,
He's
not
in the chat and he's like, no, I did not say that.
okay. I guess I didn't fully understand what you meant. But
Okay.
he's
I
talking
really
about
love that he was
seeing
here.
Big Baby.
That's really good.
All right. I don't know.
Okay. So, Big Baby
Boss
is-
Baby.
or Big Boss Baby. Oh man, Big Boss Baby sounds great. That sounds like
Yeah.
a movie I would see.
Snake is a baby.
Yeah. Metal Gear.
He said his friend's girlfriend likes it.
I see. Okay. Well, okay, that's fine. I really kind of hope that this Big Boss Baby or whatever the fuck you're calling it doesn't outdo Ghost in the Shell. Just for like my personal well-being, like mind well-being. But it probably won't.
It probably
like-
will because it's animation.
Yeah, no, for sure. It probably will. Oh,
Yeah. And
makes
that's
me so mad.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm so glad that Boss Baby movie is out now, though. So now I won't have to see the trailer ever again.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it a lot, but once was enough.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So I think Beauty and the Beast is still at the top too, which is another draw away from Ghost in the Shell potentially.
That would at least make sense to me because of like nostalgia.
Yeah, that movie's fucking like yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was totally fine. Like, it was whatever.
Yeah, I'm still debating seeing it.
Okay. We still have a little bit more to talk about, but I think that does it for movies for the most part.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what everything I saw and wrote about.
I need to quickly say how the reboot, if it's going to be a live action fucking thing about a group of friends who like go into mainframe and then it's CG, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. I'm going to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger, because what are they doing? They are ruining everything that reboot stood for. All you need for that thing is to update like the graphics, instead of using whatever shitty 90s program they use to animate that thing. Use like Unreal 4 or something and then like make that again. That's all you need to do. I saw that image. You saw that image that they were showing, like the reboot is coming.
Small. Saw it very small. I was like, oh god, no.
It's just like a group of people. It looks like it was produced by like YTV. It has like that shitty like YTV, like I don't even know how to describe it, set behind them of like a blue roof that's supposed to look futuristic, and they're all at a computer. Fuck that, man. Fuck that thing. Holy shit. And the thing is I don't know what I was expecting when they were saying we're going to remake Reboot. Like, I don't know what was in my head. They obviously weren't going to just do the 90s version again, but it wasn't this. Not like this. So, I don't know. I just had to say that it looked terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. Also, I watched one episode of One Punch Man, and that show is actually kind of amazing in premise, and I can't wait to watch more. That's kind of it that I wanted to get out in one fell swoop. But I know, like, on the topic of
this kid is eating a banana.
God damn it! Fuck.
The kid is holding a half-eaten banana in his hand, like it's peeled all the way down to the part where he's eating it.
Fuck that kid! Fucking piece of shit. Ugh. But yeah, One Punch Man is great. I really, really liked. Like, I didn't know anything about it. The only thing I knew about One Punch Man were, like, meme pictures of this, like, stupid-looking asshole that's bald that, like, just looks disinterested. But, like, it's so much better knowing now that, like, the reason he's disinterested is because he trained so much to become the best at fighting that he can kill everything with one punch. Like, I didn't know that was the premise. That's just, like, great. That's great writing right there. I really like it. So, premise. I'm looking forward to more of it. I hope
I should watch more of it. I only watched the first episode and didn't find that funny. Like, I like the premise a lot, though, but I wasn't.
This is the thing, is I agree.
After one episode.
I didn't think it was supposed to be funny, though. Like, I saw it more as, like, a weird dark comedy of, like, this kind of like a Louie or whatever, but instead of a family man, that like a family man trying to make it as a comedian and like take care of his kids, it's a dude that can kill monsters with one punch that's disinterested in like life because nothing is exciting anymore. Like, that's how I looked at it, and I thought it was amazing. So I didn't know it was supposed to be a comedy, because if it is supposed to be a comedy, it's not funny at all. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't know. I remember that, like, there's that lobster crab character or something.
Yeah, sure. I thought that was just weird Japanese humor stuff, though, which is like, well, whatever. That's a crab thing. So
I didn't find that part funny.
Yeah, but the way he kills him is gross. Where he like pulls his eye and like the insides come out. It's super gross.
Yeah. I mean, that thing started as like poorly drawn webcomic, I think. Then
okay. Yeah.
They redrew, and then eventually.
Some of that action animation is amazing, though. Like, just really sketchy, fast action shots.
One Punch Man was very popular as a company. They spent money on that short anime.
I really like it. I think it's very cool. And they did announce that season 2 is coming. So that's cool. I'm glad that there's going to be more of that. But I think it's universally loved, right? Like,
pretty much.
It's hard to find people that are like, One Punch Man is garbage.
I felt on the outside when I didn't love the first episode. Like
Yeah.
Outcast.
It doesn't sound like you
That's only
hated it
because I am.
though.
No,
So, yeah.
it just didn't compel me to watch more. The same thing happened to me with Space Dandy. I watched the first episode and just didn't.
Oh, but I love Space Dandy. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I watched a lot of Space Dandy.
I should watch more, but just didn't.
I mean, maybe. I'm not really of the belief of you should watch something until you like it. I'm very much of the belief if you don't like something, stop watching it. That's why a lot of people.
Like, both these cases, this was borderline. It wasn't like I hated it. It was like,
okay, yeah.
I just never got around to watching more.
Okay, that's fair. You wanted to talk about a show I've never watched and have wanted to at some point, but yeah, Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack season 5.
Yeah, I've never seen any Samurai Jack at all.
Samurai Jack is good, and this season is the best.
Okay, first of all, what makes it good in general?
Samurai Jack, like, generally the big thing about it, it's just it's like a samurai stuck in post-apocalyptic cyber nightmare future.
Okay.
And a lot of it is driven. So like the best parts of Samurai Jack are like the storyboarders were telling the stories, and then there's some dialogue. Like Jack as a character very rarely speaks, but it's just really good action. Like, okay. And it subscribes to the theory of like, if something is cool, it's cool like 5 times. It's like he'll cut a robot and then cut a robot again and then cut a robot again. And it's very fast and kinetic, and it's like there's definitely a high point on animation.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the thing, and it's the whole. Actually, you get the whole story from like the intro that played at the beginning of every episode of like there was an evil monster named Aku, and a shape-shifting demon, and then a mighty samurai warrior wielding a magic sword stepped forth to oppose him. Before the final blow was struck, the demon threw open a portal in time and flung the samurai far into the future. His evil was law. Now the samurai looks for a way to return to the past to finally defeat Aku and fix everything.
Okay.
And it does like the Ninja Turtles thing where like for the original show where it was a kid's show, so all the enemies he fought were robots, so he could slash them all up.
Right. So there
Whereas
could be
this new series is on
violence.
Adult Swim. This new series is on Adult Swim, and now there's blood.
So he's like killing people now.
Yeah, so it's like now it is it has escalated. And they did a good job of like the first episode it was just robots, and the second episode it was at the end it was oh god.
How much of a hurdle is it for me that I hate the way Samurai Jack looks? I think that animation is terrible. Yeah. I really don't like it. Like I think this is a newer version of him with like a sword, or not a sword, a beard and like long hair, and he kind of looks like Jesus or something. Like is that like this new season or something, or does he always?
Yeah, that's how he looks in the new. He had a classic or samurai look with the little hairpin and a white robe. Was his classic look?
Yeah, I hate that classic look. I think the other images I'm looking at here of what I'm guessing is Aku and like some of the backgrounds and stuff, I think that's great. I just hate his character design a lot. There, I think he looks great in the like update. Is that what we call it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the big thing with the premise of the new season is it's like Breath of the Wild, in that it starts with he's lost his and has now been forced to like use all this tech and art and weaponry and stuff to like make do because he doesn't have the magic sword that can defeat everything.
Right, Seal the Darkness. So I've played Zelda. Yeah.
So now he's using whatever shit he finds.
Okay.
and then it breaks and gets destroyed.
Okay, so like
Like
Zelda.
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm with you.
So that's been part of the appeal. But
Okay.
it's hard to describe because a lot of it is in like mood.
Mm-hmm. So he
And
doesn't
like
talk a
there are
lot, huh?
parts that are jokey, but there's not a lot of dialogue. A lot of it is dialogue less.
How do they fit 20 minutes of a show for 5 seasons without dialogue and make it interesting?
I mean, there's plenty of dialogue throughout the show normally in terms of but
Okay.
it's mostly like joke characters and stuff. It's a lot of
Okay.
characters talking fast at Jack, and Jack will just say yes.
Okay, I see.
And like it's he's the stoic warrior, and then the world
Right.
is crazy around him.
Okay, I understand. That makes sense to me. Because in my mind, it was just like a bunch of fighting, and that sounds like it
Yeah.
would get super boring.
So there's an episode that is just mostly fighting, but it's like it's one of the best episodes, and it's like a video game puzzle in that Jack comes upon a tower that has 3 blind archers at the top, and he has to figure out a way to beat them.
Hmm.
So like every noise he makes is like they hone in on. And
Oh, I
it's
see.
a really fucking good episode of TV.
Right, but that's like one episode.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought like they
exactly.
were all like that, and that sounds like it would get boring. Just like fight after fight after fight all the
No, a
time.
lot of it is
There's like actual things going on.
yes.
Cool. Okay.
Like one of the other characters is there was like the Scotsman who was another warrior. It was like there was an episode that was all about Jack is like walking down this really long rickety wood bridge that he's just walking on it for days, and then
Okay.
eventually he runs into a Scotsman walking who's like
All right.
foul mouthed and has a gun leg and is playing the bagpipes
So
and is like
yeah,
super loud and
Scotsman.
abrasive.
Yeah,
And then
that's how they all
figure
look.
out, you know, how they start like negotiating how they're gonna pass each other when they get attacked.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
this stuff sounds interesting enough that I might check it out. Would you
Mhm.
like? It sounds like you suggest I start from the beginning. Like,
I would start from the beginning, but I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't say you have to watch everything from the first 4 seasons because the big thing is they got kind of burned out by
Uh-huh.
the end of the original run, and like the animation quality kind of dipped and the story's quality kind of dipped. Like, particularly the first season is really good. I'm sure there are good episodes sprinkled in throughout, but you would only really need to establish the base of knowing that good stuff before you could
Right.
jump in on the 5th season. And the 5th season is fucking great.
a lot of people have been saying that, so that's
Yeah.
what's actually getting me interested. Because people have talked
Yeah.
about Samurai Jack before, and I've just been like,
Mhm.
whatever. But the way people keep talking about this new season, it sounds
Yeah.
like something special. Like actually,
So like Samurai Jack opens with a episode that's like sets up the whole premise.
I'm getting
like
a
that
suggestion
would be
here.
yeah.
Watch the first season, last part of second season, and the fourth season. So that seems pretty specific. Apparently, third season's garbage, and first half of second season is meh or something. I would guess.
I don't remember. It's been
Oh, all right.
looked out all the episode stuff, and honestly I really liked the show, and like I only cared to own the first season on DVD. Yeah, whatever
Right.
the rest. There are good episodes everywhere within there. It's that a lot of it comes from just the premise and like how original it felt at the time in terms of even what Cartoon Network other stuff, because the guy who created it had created Dexter's Lab, and like Gendy Tartakovsky has worked on plenty of other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll check it out then. I think, like, if I was pressed to like decide between this and One Punch Man for my time, I think One Punch Man right now still might win out.
Fair
I'd
enough.
like to at least see a couple more episodes to see where that goes. But yeah, that I really, really liked that first episode. I was super surprised because I'm super like pessimistic when it comes to anime. Like it's pretty hard to get me to care about something unless it's like funny or like something new, basically.
Yeah.
I guess One Punch
I
Man
would.
was new
I mean,
enough.
if you didn't have to start with season 1 of Samurai Jack, I would be more adamant about how good this new season is. But you had you need at least to to have seen some of the old stuff.
Right. Okay. I wonder if I'll get another DMCA notice from my ISP if I download a shitload of it. Maybe.
It's older.
But it's Adult
If you
Swim for season 5, right?
Yeah,
And they're like,
that
they're shitty.
Yeah,
So-
that you might get for.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess there's that. I'll figure this all out. I since my schedule changed now, like it's hard to describe exactly how the operations work at my work without talking about them, and like I'm pretty sure I'm legally not allowed to do that because of airline security stuff. But like the way my shifts were before was like I would come into work and then I would have nothing for a while, then some work, then a little bit more work, and then nothing, and then I would go home. Now it's kind of like I get in, I have work up until like a certain point, then I have nothing for like 4 hours, and then I have a little bit more work and I go home. So now that I have that like shift change where I have like 3 to 4 hours of actually nothing to do with no one around, this is like the perfect time to watch stuff. Like this is how I went through all of Roseanne from episode 1 was like during this shift last year. So I could get through some shit for sure. So actually, this is a good time to say that for people listening. If you have suggestions of stuff I should catch up on and like you think I'd be interested in, you should like hit me up and let me know, because I like need suggestions for stuff to watch. I have one of those jobs that's boring and we'll have to fill time somehow. So let me know. One Punch Man, Samurai Jack, as long as I could get through season 1. If I can't get through season 1 and I find it boring or whatever, I'm probably just gonna read what happens and then watch season 5. Like, I don't care enough. Or like maybe watch like a YouTube video or something.
Like seriously, once you've seen the first 3 episodes, that's like enough. Like meeting the Scotsman will probably matter at some, because I'm sure he's going to show up at some point in season 5.
Yeah.
But there's not. Samurai Jack wasn't a story-heavy show until season 5. Really, there was just the struggle of it. It was kind of an eternal struggle of episodic stuff of Jack always being the samurai who was trying to kill Aku and find his way to the past. It's kind of it has like, it was like a timeless idea that they liked, but also that they'd set up they'd started with such a directed story of those first 3 episodes that then people really wanted an end, and they made it finally because the guy who created the show finally thought of a way to end it, apparently.
I like that quality control in a way, though, where it's like, okay, now I know how we're going to end it. Now we can do this. I like that.
Yeah, and they had stopped making the show because they were just burned out. They were just sick of making it at the time.
Yeah.
It's like, we just want to do other stuff right now. But
cool.
I just to reiterate how much I like season 5. Like, I watch an episode, I just want to think about that over and over again. Season 5,
I've seen you say some stuff in the Discord about being really impressed, so that's kind of what perked my ears up a little bit.
It's like boop, and the progression of episodes has been really good.
Well, that's good.
Built on each other.
I want to just backtrack for a second and just make mention of I own bots in the chat saying I actually know Roseanne in real life, and Phil, the writer of the first few seasons of Roseanne. They're nutballs, especially Roseanne. She used to be my neighbor before Phil and her were married, and she made a TV show, or before they were married and made a TV show. Love her, though. That's fucking weird. Like, That's awesome because I really like Roseanne. Not like her as a person because I don't know her as a person, but I like that show. So that makes me weirdly happy that I know somebody that has like a direct like I grew up with her next door type of story. That's really good. Anyways, yeah.
There's a thing on one of the channels like on YouTube, the guy who does Cinema Snob, and the big thing I watch of is his midnight screening reviews where he and friends like see a movie and then talk about it in the car afterwards.
Yeah.
But he's a new series of binge watch. He watched the seasons of Fuller House, and then he did one on Joey.
God. Wait, Joey has a show?
Yeah, there was a 2-season show of Joey from Friends.
Oh, Friends.
Yeah.
You said Fuller House, so
Yeah,
I was thinking
no. He did
that Joey.
Yeah, no. That was
No, you're right. I remember Joey, that show.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. And then he just happened to do, but so on Patreon, his next thing he's going to do is he's going to binge watch the final season of Roseanne.
The final season of Roseanne, when you figure out by the ending, like what it means or whatever, is a little, like it makes a little more sense, but that season is fucking garbage. It's bad. Yeah. Man, that show was so good until that point.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just what happens when a TV show is on the
Yeah, no, for sure. Totally. All right. I think that does it for me, for things I wanted to bring up. What about you? What you got?
So they just announced Heroes of the Storm 2.0. It's their big rework of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're adding in blind boxes.
Oh, no.
They're reworking the whole system. Like, all the progression is being reworked, where now...
what if I own all the characters? Am I fucked now?
Everything you own.
Uh-huh.
But, so in the future, once this rolls out, like, you get... all the skin color variations will be in the game as separate items.
That you get in boxes.
That you get in boxes, but I think... or you get with the new premium... or you can just get them with the new premium currency.
Okay.
And then mounts... and there's other cosmetic stuff, like they added fucking emotes and sprays and banners.
All right.
And voice lines. And announcers. So they added more announcers as a system too.
What a bummer, man. None of this sounds like what I want at all.
But then, so a lot of that stuff you have to craft with the new crafting material.
Oh, man. Okay. Keep saying buzzwords I hate.
So you can re-roll on chests with gold.
Okay.
You can re-roll a chest up to like 3 times.
Yeah.
But it costs more gold every time you do it. You can still unlock heroes with gold the same way it was. And you could still just buy the premium currency and buy a hero if you want them. And buy a skin if you want it. That's still... you can still just buy that stuff.
Right.
But some of it you can't. So there won't... master skins are going to not be a thing in terms of a skin you unlock by leveling a character. That's not a thing.
Okay.
Builds will just be in there, and I think. But if you have the master skin, you'll have. They're adding in color variations for some of. This is just an excuse also to add in variations on stuff that's already in there.
Mm-hmm.
From what I saw, because you can look at this stuff right now by going into the beta. They have a whole schedule for all their release and out there, so you just know when they're going to announce everything now. Like, it's like, we're having a cinematic release on this date, or this month, or whatever. This date. Yeah, no, I think it's a specific date. This is when we're releasing characters, this is when we're releasing a map. So they're more upfront about some of that stuff.
I like that stuff. That's good.
They evened out the leveling progression so that it takes way less to.
Mhm.
And then and they're recalculating that into, so like if you've gotten to a certain, your level now for your account is now based just on the level of all your heroes,
Okay.
but also because they're lowering the XP you need for higher hero levels, all your hero levels will probably gain a shit ton of levels once they're higher once you get into the game now, because they will be rebalanced for what the new system is, unless they're low level, because they're slightly increasing the amount of XP for low levels because they decided it was stupid that after one game you would go from level 1 to level 3. Because
Right.
that just happened every time.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you've gotten to level 3 by that way, you're not going to de-level or anything.
No.
They'll let you stay there.
Right. That
They're
would be
giving out
dumb.
they're giving you a shit ton of crates for people who have leveled a lot. It seems like at launch for
Okay.
2.0.
What about people that have actually spent money? What do I get?
You get to keep all the shit you kept.
Fuck them. Bunch of
So
fucking assholes.
So if you've bought a skin, keep the skin. You get 3 variations on that thing.
Uh-huh.
But I guess
I hate these changes. They're turning it into the type of shit I hate. Ugh.
It's just adding in
Hotsgambling.com. I'm gonna start a site. That'd be great, actually. I would love to do that. I don't know. I don't like these changes.
Some of it I've stuff I wanted, like announcers is a thing I wanted.
Sure. I mean, that's fine. I would rather just pay the money for anything.
I like the simplicity of just pay the money and get the thing.
Yes. That's what I like in video games.
But it still seems like for most of the stuff that you could pay money for to just get, you can still just pay money for to just get directly. It's not like they haven't locked anything behind a blind box. That's the only way you can get it? No, they've said that they want to make it so that if you just want to get something, you can get something. If it's in a blind box, you can
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason I hate blind boxes.
Yeah.
So if they surpass that, like if they go around that and just say, if you want this, you can just like give us the money or whatever, I'm in. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, because the big difference between it's very much they're making it more like the Overwatch system, except the difference is the Heroes is having 2 forms of currency, where it has gold and this premium currency.
Mm-hmm.
And this premium currency is for buying blind boxes or buying things that would be in blind boxes.
Gotcha.
Or there are things that you can only get through crafting, though. There are things that you have to craft to get.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with that.
That's like mounts. It doesn't seem to be skins. It seems to be other cosmetic things and like announcers packs or whatever.
That's a pretty basic video game thing. That I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and their big thing was just changing it so people can get stuff just playing the game instead of all the cosmetic stuff being behind a paywall. Was the way they pitched it, whereas before you had to spend money to get stuff. Right now you can. More stuff for playing the game. They did have to do something about progression because it was dumb that you just hit level 4. That was it.
No, the thing is that I do like the carrot on the stick thing that this adds, having, like, as Tony's putting in the chat, gold, gems, shards, or like, I like the feeling like I'm getting something for playing the game, and all that's fine, but at the end of the day, I kind of would just rather pay money for something I think is cool. So the crafting thing's fine. Yeah. Because again, motivation carrot on the stick. The thing I don't like is
I don't like the Overwatch thing that they're adding, which is that of having color variations of the same skin being counting as separate item.
Yeah,
like
that's
actual
bullshit.
Things.
I don't like that at all.
Dumb.
Yeah, it
I
is.
liked unlocking color variations through playing with a thing.
Yeah.
That's the part that I know I don't like.
Yeah, because there's some prestige to it, right? When you see somebody with that color variation, you know they played a lot of Uther or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I totally
And
agree.
also, yeah,
Yeah.
and that they're getting rid of master skins as a special thing for two. That's also lame.
Yeah, that's kind of
Even,
shitty
even
too.
though even though plenty of master skins were fucking bad. There were only a handful that I actually like.
Yeah.
But I'm also now thinking about what I want to make sure I get before the change carries over.
When is the change happening?
I don't think they've set a date for officially being in. It's just on the test realm now and as a beta. So you can go look
Okay.
at it.
So it'll be
PTR.
soon. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
super soon if it's on PTR. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And they announced a new hero.
What's the hero? Who?
What's she called? Cassia.
Cassia?
Yeah.
Trying to think of
I think
who
she's
Cassia would be.
a Diablo character.
Okay. Who the fuck would she
Yeah,
be?
Diablo 2 Javazon.
Oh, fuck off. It's an Amazon. Like, Diablo 2 didn't have character names. Fuck these people that do that shit. Cassia. Fuck off. Just call it Amazon.
It's like Vala.
No, I know. It's stupid. It's
I mean, that's
fucking
what
dumb.
That's what they've done with every unit they've added.
Totally.
They do it with the StarCraft units too. They just create a character.
Ugh.
Standard unit.
Ugh. Ugh. Oh well. That's cool. That's like, what's she gonna play like? Do you know? Like, she's probably, if she's Javelin Amazon, she's probably gonna have lightning because
She's an assassin.
yeah, that totally makes sense. I bet she's gonna play like the Amazon in D2.
Yep.
Go figure.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. Exactly.
And then they just like committed to do more stuff of
Sure.
more
Yeah.
crazy heroes.
Yeah.
You know,
So they announced that they're still
like
working on it.
The thing that makes me the most happy is just the clear commitment to still working on this game to keep making it better.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's a really good. It's the only MOBA that can really compete with the Dota and League of Legends. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good because it's different enough and like friendly enough to newbies that people can actually just play it and have fun. It's really good. I really, really can't say enough good things about Heroes of the Storm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of this new stuff is messy. I don't love how the interface looks, mostly because of how many fucking things look the same except it's a different color. I hate that they all take up different slots.
I mean, the
That part
worst
bugs
thing
me.
about this is that now that they added fucking chests or crates, Ben's actually going to be talking so much about this game because that's all he cares about.
Oh.
And that makes me so mad. Because I hate everything Ben talks about.
I don't know, I like that you can re-roll a chest.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. I kind of like that. So, you know what? Fine. I have faith. I don't know why, because I always have faith in Blizzard, and I always feel like they like either meet it exceedingly or fail miserably. So, like Diablo 3 has just been like a series of failures for me recently. So I'm not.
No, if they put something in the game you can only get through a blind box, I'll be annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, that doesn't seem to be the case.
This is the thing that I'm like, that gives me hope, is I know how you feel about blind boxes, and you're giving it a chance. So, because I don't even hate blind boxes necessarily. So, yeah. We'll give it a chance.
I mean, I don't want the way I have to interact through to get stuff to be a blind box.
Yeah.
If
No,
you're just
for
if you're gonna have blind boxes and throw me a shit ton of them, like I can't complain too hard.
Right.
But
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I
Yeah.
really don't care about emotes.
No. I don't like. I probably won't care about most of the stuff. This is the thing about blind boxes is I don't care about 90% of the shit. But then there's that one thing that I'm like, you know what? I'll give you $5, which is unreasonable for a color variation. Like this is unreasonable. But the fact that you'll allow me to just buy it, I'm in. Instead of having to buy like 100 crates and hope I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I just hope you're right. But I think that'll do it. I think that's a show.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. Whatever. I was going to give you shit about Twitch allowing you to change your name, and you still decided not to. Yeah.
The thing is that what would I change it to, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think this is the problem everybody gets into, is that it's like, well, I hate my username, but it's my username. Like, it's mine. So
exactly.
I think you have a good username. I think Tony's username's good. I'm just going to look in chat. Wayward's, I don't know why he has 524. Maybe that means something, but I think Wayward's is fine.
It's a reference to a song.
That's right. I did know that. I forgot.
Hatsune Miku song.
Yep, that's right. I forgot that. My bad. I think Animated Jester has a good name. Ionbots is hilarious name to me. I don't know why. It always has been. Comet Strider X is a good name. Like, I feel like everybody else's name is fine. It's mine that I'm just like, this is the worst. Except for Ben. Bean LP is terrible, and he should feel bad, because Drathius was good. I liked Drathius.
Dr. Athius.
He was Dr. Athius, and now he's Bean? What the fuck is that all about? Why is he Bean? Ben, why are you a Bean? Write in at podcast@burningbarrel.co and tell me.
I think it's real life nickname.
Yeah, but that's dumb.
Yeah.
Because you know what a bean is? A shitty fucking legume.
Also not cheese.
It's also not cheese.
What are you doing, Ben? What are you doing?
Fuck
Stay on
Ben.
brand.
Fucking Ben. Prince of cheese my ass. Prince of garbage. Just like Oscar the Grouch. This has gone off the rails. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and we will be back next time with more roundup, so stay tuned for that.
Peace.